The Majin Buu arc takes place 7 years after the events of the Cell Saga. We're introduced to a town named after Hercule, who is believed to have saved the Earth from Cell's perfect form. A few thugs decide to rob the Hercule City bank and start shooting up the place. Meanwhile, Gohan rides in on the flying Nimbus in that direction. Gohan is now 16, having been homeschooled up until this point. Chi-Chi set it up though so he could now commute to the high school in Hercule City. Gohan decides to land a few blocks away from the school and bids a farewell to Nimbus for now. He sprints down the road at super speed, but notices the bank robbery nearby. Gohan takes the opportunity to transform into a Super Saiyan to disguise himself and beats up the bank robbers, catching bullets and turning over their truck to prevent them from escaping. He then runs off, leaving the rest to the police. Gohan powers down around the corner, and just then, a girl with a white shirt and 2 ponytails comes up to him from behind and wonders what happened to the robbers. Gohan says he didn't see, and while the girl stands disappointed that she couldn't stop them herself, he sneaks off in the other direction. An old man then calls the girl now known as Videl and tells her that the one responsible for this was the Golden Warrior yet again. The man tells her how powerful he was and says he was coincidentally wearing the same school badge that she was wearing on her shirt. Videl remains suspicious, and we cut to Orange Star High School as she asks a guy with blonde hair named Sharpener if he's the Golden Warrior, but he denies it. A blonde girl then wonders if the Golden Warrior is stronger than Hercule, but a nerdy kid says there's no way as he's the champion who saved the Earth. The professor then walks into the room and introduces everyone to their new classmate, Gohan, who nervously comes in and finds a seat next to the blonde girl who finds him attractive. She introduces herself as Eliza and then introduces Videl, telling Gohan that her father is none other than Hercule himself. She then says that had it not been for Videl's father, none of them would be alive. Cutting off the conversation, Videl then recognizes Gohan from the bank robbery scene in the morning. The students discuss the Golden Warrior and how he's been mysteriously appearing, causing Gohan to realize everybody's already made a legend out of him. Videl states the description she got matches Gohan's appearance, but Eliza and Sharpener both dismiss this, stating that Gohan likely isn't a fighter. Videl thinks to herself though, recalling watching a video of the Cell games long ago and witnessing someone transforming with golden hair. We cut to gym class, where Gohan prepares to play baseball with his classmates. Sharpener steps up to bat and knocks Videl's pitch out of the park, but Gohan jumps way into the air to catch it. The class is stunned, and Gohan feels as though he may have overdid it, but steps up next to bat, thinking to himself that he shouldn't hit the ball to avoid unnecessary attention. Sharpener, meanwhile, as pitcher, decides to teach Gohan a lesson by throwing the ball towards his face to scare him. However, Gohan takes the impact of the ball face first with no damage, shocking the class and making Videl even more suspicious. After school, she decides to follow Gohan to get answers, but he realizes she's following him and flies atop a building to avoid detection. Gohan then rides off on the flying Nimbus to head for Bulma, thinking he'll need a disguise to keep his powers a secret. Gohan later arrives at Capsule Corp, where Bulma tells him she'll be able to create a costume for him in 2 hours. Meanwhile, Gohan runs into Kid Trunks grown up since the battle with Cell, all sweaty from training with Vegeta, who's grooming him to be even stronger than Gohan. Vegeta then greets Gohan, telling him that times may be peaceful now, but if he continues to slack off on his training, he'll become rusty. 2 hours come and go, and Gohan puts on his costume and dialed in an orange helmet and red cape, which pleases him greatly. Trunks doesn't think it's very cool, but Gohan takes off on Nimbus, thanking Bulma for all her help. On the way home, Gohan realizes that if he puts his new disguise on, he won't have to worry about anyone seeing him flying. He then transforms and races Nimbus for fun, but is interrupted as he witnesses a car driving recklessly through a city. Gohan lands in front of the car and tells the driver to stop, as 2 guys get out and ask who he is, prepared to threaten him with their weapons. Gohan then introduces himself as the Great Saiyaman, but the 2 guys laugh at him. Irritated, Gohan crushes the ground beneath him with a single stomp, telling the 2 guys to stop making fun of him as he spent a lot of time thinking up his hero name. Fearful for their lives, the 2 agree and drive off, saying that they'll practice safe driving from now on. The next day at Goku's house, Gohan leaves for school as the Great Saiyaman, but not before saying goodbye to his mother Chi-Chi and little brother Goten, a boy who looks exactly like Goku and was conceived before the Cell games. Gohan later arrives at school, talking with a student who wonders if he's heard of a new hero who arrived in town, and he isn't the Golden Warrior. The student says he looks a little funny, but his name is the Great Tire Man or something, but Gohan corrects him in saying it's the Great Saiyaman. Later in class, Videl's watch starts beeping, alerting her that there was a robbery in progress. She rushes out of the classroom to get there, and Gohan wonders where she's going, but Sharpener and the others tell him not to worry, as she's the daughter of Hercule and can handle herself. Gohan, feeling uneasy though, yells to go to the bathroom and rushes out, transforming into the Great Saiyaman to assist, although he'll have to wait to sense Videl's ki, given he doesn't know where she went. Meanwhile, Videl arrives on the scene with the robbery robber she heard about and tells them to give up the easy way or they might get hurt. The biggest of the two isn't afraid though, underestimating Videl and stating nobody is stronger than him. He tries to grab her, but is met with a solid kick to the chin, alerting the great Saiyaman of Videl's position as he flies off to help. Back at the scene, Videl handles the robber with ease, knocking him around as Saiyaman watches in the distance, surprised that she can handle herself. The robber continues to get knocked around and eventually falls unconscious, but Saiyaman notices that his partner is preparing to shoot Videl, causing him to spring into action and crush the firearm with his bare hands, much to everyone's surprise. The partner wonders who this mysterious man is, to which the hero performs a special dance and introduces himself as the great Saiyaman, having Videl think he looks ridiculous. Determined not to get caught though, the remaining robber throws down a smoke bomb and jumps into his car to escape. However, Saiyaman flies after him, shocking Videl. The robber thinks he's gotten away, but is knocked over the head by Saiyaman and brought back to Videl to be detained. Videl acknowledges Saiyaman's strength, but is curious about who he really is. Having an idea, she calls him by the name Gohan, to which he foolishly responds, alerting her of his identity, and the two take off together in her airship. Videl wonders why Gohan decided to wear such a strange costume, to which he replies he just wanted to live a normal life. She wonders if Gohan is actually the Golden Warrior as well, but he denies it, thinking to himself that those powers must remain a secret. Videl believes him and proceeds to wonder if he'll be participating in the World Martial Arts Tournament this year. Gohan pretends to be oblivious, but Videl points out that the former champion of the tournament was named Son Goku, who shares the same family name as Gohan. She surmises that Gohan is Goku's son and blackmails him to join the tournament to fight her, otherwise she'll tell everyone that he's the great Saiyaman. Gohan of course agrees, and the two head back to class separately to avoid suspicion, as the students make fun of Gohan for being in the bathroom for so long. Back at Capsule Corps, Gohan tells Bulma that he'll be entering the World Martial Arts Tournament since Videl forced him. However, he still wants to remain anonymous to his classmates that would be in attendance, so he wonders if Bulma can make him something simple to keep him from being noticed. Because certain devices aren't allowed at the tournament, Bulma gives Gohan a bandana and shades, which pleases him greatly. She says he probably won't have to put in much effort against the competition, but Vegeta cuts in, saying he'll be participating as well. He says how there was a wide gap between he and Gohan's power 7 years ago, but now he wants to test his power again. Suddenly, everyone hears a voice off in the distance and Gohan gets excited, realizing it's Goku's. In the afterlife, using communication through King Kai, Goku says that he'll be joining the tournament this year too, as he asked Baba to take him to Earth for one day, much to the satisfaction of Gohan and Vegeta, who patiently await his return. Bulma tells Gohan to let everyone know as soon as possible, and he takes off to Kame House first. Krillin and 18 are there with their daughter as well as Master Roshi, and Krillin gets excited about seeing Goku again. 18 wonders about the prize money and gets pumped about it being 10 million Zeni for first place, telling Krillin that they'll both be participating. Gohan then flies off to the lookout next, where he tells Piccolo, Dende, and Mr. Popo the good news. Piccolo decides to participate in the tournament as well, and Gohan takes off to go home. On the way, he says that Bulma will probably contact Yamcha, and there's also Tien and Chaozu, but he can't find them anywhere. He knows though that Chi-Chi will be happy to find out Goku is coming home for the day, but wonders if she'll let him join the tournament. Later that night though, Gohan's worries are put to bed, as not only is Chi-Chi excited about her husband's return, but she's eager to win 10 million Zeni for their family, telling Gohan he can go to school later and train in the meantime. Before bed, Gohan tells Goten to come train with him in the morning, and as dawn breaks, the two begin, with Gohan transformed to a Super Saiyan. Eager to work on his reflexes first, Gohan grabs a stack of rocks and tells Goten to launch them at him as fast as he can. Goten is worried that he's standing a little too close, but Gohan's confident in his abilities and tells him it's okay. Goten throws the first rock though at top speed, nearly hitting Gohan in the face, much to his surprise. Goten is happy that his brother is so strong and gets ready to throw some more, but Gohan frantically moves Goten back a bit so he won't get hurt. After some more throws, Goten asks Gohan if he can be like him, a Super Saiyan. Gohan laughs though, saying that he'd have to train hard to achieve that level of power and that he isn't ready yet. Goten makes his older brother eat his words though, as he effortlessly transforms into a Super Saiyan the moment after, shocking Gohan. Gohan wonders how long he's been a Super Saiyan, but Goten says he's not sure. Gohan then says the two should spar together, and Goten springs into action. The two trade a few blows with Gohan on the defensive, and he jumps in the air to fly and gain some distance. Goten, however, tells him it's not fair as he can't fly himself, making Gohan wonder how the heck he's able to achieve such a transformation but hasn't learned how to fly. Just then, he notices an airship in the distance and spots Videl, on her way to his house now as he'll have to teach her how to fly as well. Before heading back, Gohan tells his younger brother not to show off any of his strength to her, especially his Super Saiyan transformation. The two then sprint back home, and Gohan acknowledges Goten's incredible potential. Goten states, however, that Trunks is a bit stronger than him, prompting Gohan to think he needs to train harder, otherwise he'll be left in the dust by a few kids. Back at home, Chi-Chi interrogates Videl, thinking she's come to date Gohan. Videl, however, denies this, and the two brothers arrive. Gohan wonders how Videl was able to find his home, and she tells him she found his address and some documents at school. The two then prepare to head off for flight training, but not before Chi-Chi makes another comment about Videl trying to seduce her son. The three begin their training, and Gohan explains the art of ki control, stating that it's all you really need to learn how to fly. Videl, of course, is confused on what ki is, but Goten explains by shooting a blast from his hand to destroy a nearby boulder, much to her shock. Videl at first thinks ki must be some sort of trick, similar to her father during the Cell games, but Gohan tells her that it's real and urges Goten to go play somewhere so he can teach her the basics of ki and how to control it. Later that day, Videl progresses in learning ki control, but still isn't ready to fly just yet. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, Goku trains in base form with some heavy weights on his arms and legs under King Kai. Not long after, the South Kai appears. Surprised, Goku is training with a total of 8 tons. He, however, attempts to brag to King Kai about one of his own champions, which doesn't worry him in the least. Instead, King Kai decides to demonstrate Goku's superiority over all others by changing his training weights to 40 tons total and allowing him to use Super Saiyan, leaving the South Kai in awe. Back on Earth, Videl has already learned to float in the air after only 1 day of training. She, however, pales in comparison to Goten, who's zipping around like a bird now. Gohan assures her that she'll improve in time, but Videl says she'll be back tomorrow for more training. Before she leaves though, Gohan tells her that her hair would be better if it were cut short, prompting Videl to blush and asks if he likes girls with short hair. Gohan, however, says it's not about that and relates it to fighting, which makes her angry as she flies away. The next day though, Videl returns with her hair cut short, much to Gohan's confusion. As the World Martial Arts Tournament draws near, we cut to Capsule Corp, where Vegeta trains in a gravity room with Trunks at 150 times Earth's normal gravity. Vegeta tells his son that it's too much for him and that he should leave, but Trunks has a better idea and transforms into a Super Saiyan, same as Goten, much to the shock of the Saiyan Prince. As Trunks runs around the room with ease, Vegeta wonders when turning into a Super Saiyan became so easy. He then calls Trunks over, offering to take him to the amusement park if he can land just 1 hit to his face. Trunks then rushes in, throwing a barrage of punches toward Vegeta and lands a minor hit to the side of his face. Vegeta, however, gets a little carried away and punches Trunks straight in the face, knocking him to the floor. As his son begins to cry, Vegeta tells him that they'll still be going to the amusement park, but first asks Trunks who's stronger between him and Goten. Trunks states that he's a little stronger, and we cut to Videl, who can float even higher than before now. She, however, says she'll keep coming back until she can fly like Goten, prompting Gohan to tell his younger brother to stop flying so fast when she's around. Videl then takes a break and tells Gohan to keep her flying abilities a secret from her dad, as she's not even supposed to be around any guys that aren't as strong as him. Gohan then thinks to himself that Videl isn't even aware that she's far stronger than her father, prompting him to ask if she'd be mad if one day someone beat him. She says she wouldn't be though, and says he needs to learn some humility, as he's been using his fame to meet other women since her mom passed away. Gohan then thinks to himself that this is great, as she won't be upset when he beats Hercule in the tournament. Before heading off, Videl asks Gohan who taught him martial arts, to which he replies his father who passed away and his friends. Goten then foolishly blurts out that their dad will be returning for the tournament though, upsetting Gohan. Videl is confused at first, but assumes their father must have abandoned them and secretly sent them a note that he'd be returning behind their mother's back. Gohan decides not to correct her, and after 10 days, Videl was able to fly freely like Goten, and the two brothers continue their training alone. Finally, the day of the tournament arrives, and on the Capsule Corp airship, the Dragon Team and the rest of the Peanut Gallery greet one another, Bulma asking Yamcha if he'll be participating, but Yamcha replies no, as he'd be an embarrassment. Gohan then tells Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks that they should refrain from becoming Super Saiyans, as everyone will recognize them from the battle with Cell 7 years ago. The three agree, and everyone arrives at the tournament, where Hercule touches down as well, getting swarmed by the press and adoring fans as the man who supposedly saved the Earth. As Chi-Chi wonders where her husband might be, Goku touches down and greets everyone with a smile, and we witness tears from some of the group's members as the majority rush in to hug him. Fortune teller Baba is with him and tells Goku that he has 24 hours before he has to return to the afterlife, and not long after, Goku notices Goten, who's hiding behind his mother. The Dragon Team then begin registering for the tournament, and everyone heads off to get started. As the team head toward the preliminaries, Goku notices Krillin isn't naturally bald, as he reveals he used to shave it back then. Goten and Trunks discuss who the strongest between their dads is, and Goku notices Android 18, who Krillin reveals is his wife who lives with him at Master Roshi's house. He also says the little girl he saw earlier is their daughter, which surprises Goku. The group head toward the locker rooms and get changed, then run into the tournament's announcer, who immediately recognizes Goku and Krillin. He greets them excitedly and whispers that he knows Hercule wasn't the one who defeated Cell, but the Dragon Team, which makes Goku smile. The preliminaries begin with only 16 people allowed to participate, which will be decided on a rating from a punch machine that everyone will have a chance to try. To demonstrate, Hercule comes out in his first up, but is immediately swarmed by the press. Piccolo uses his glare to destroy all the cameras there and in the audience to help Gohan out, so nobody will find out about his true identity. Hercule of course puts on a show for his punch, getting a score of 137 points, which shocks the entire crowd. As the champ leaves, the Dragon Team step up next, 18 being the first to get her score, although Krillin tells her to dial her strength back. 18 receives a score of 774 points, but retries to look weaker with 203. The rest of the group continue on and advance with scores higher than Hercule, shocking the other contestants. Vegeta then steps up, unwilling to hold back his power, and completely destroys the punch machine, leaving everyone in awe as he and the group move on to watch Goten and Trunks in the Junior Division matches. As Videl tries to make sense of everything that's going on, the Junior Division starts, and the world champion Hercule runs out to give his good luck to the kids, but not before making a fool of himself in the process. Backstage, Trunks and Goten talk about what they'll do with the prize money if they win, when suddenly, a kid with a ridiculous looking mullet tries to scare Trunks before he faces off against him in the first round. Trunks, however, is unfazed as we cut back to Hercule's speech, Krillin acknowledging that the Budokai became too fancy, and Piccolo says it's like a circus now. The Junior Division matches officially begin, and Trunks wipes the floor with the kid now known as Idasa and moves on, shocking the audience, but it was no surprise to the rest of the Z Fighters. More matches pass, and now it's time for Goten's fight against Idasa's brother. He proves to be no match for the tiny half Saiyan though, and passes out, surprising the crowd once again. Goten and Trunks continue to dominate their matches as everyone expected, now prepared to face one another in the final round to decide the winner of the Junior Division. Hercule decides to come out to watch the match to see what the kids are made of, and notices Goten's face looks oddly familiar. The match begins and the two Saiyan warriors rush at one another, blocking strikes, breaking, and flying back into the air, exchanging punches and connecting them as well. The two exchange a few more mid-air blows and finally break away back into the ring, leaving the audience stunned, especially Hercule and Videl, who try to make sense of how these kids can be so strong. The audience quickly changes their tune though, breaking out into cheers as they witness this incredible battle. Trunks acknowledges how much Goten's improved in such a short amount of time, and decides to test him by firing a ki blast that he averts away from the crowd. As Hercule recognizes the move he just witnessed, Goten decides to unleash a blast of his own, firing a Kamehameha that destroys part of the tournament's grounds, as Goku notes his son still hasn't learned to control the attack yet. The two agree not to use any more blasts and rush toward each other once again. Trunks throws Goten into the air and locks him into a full Nelson. He insists Goten to give up, but he refuses, as Vegeta tells Goku it looks like Trunks is about to win. Determined not to lose though, Goten transforms into a Super Saiyan and breaks free, annoying Trunks and surprising Videl. Goku is surprised that his son was able to become a Super Saiyan already, and it becomes all too clear to Hercule that Goten is Goku's son. Trunks goads Goten into another round, stating that he could beat him without using his left arm. He then flies forward, attacking with his right arm only, but Goten blocks it and kicks him in the face. Goten blocks another one of Trunks' attacks and lands a blow to his face again, only this time Trunks shoots a ki blast that Goten is able to dodge. Goten takes off into the air and suddenly launches himself down toward Trunks, thinking he'll have to dodge at the very last moment to avoid the attack. Goten, however, lands on the stadium floor and launches himself in the direction of Trunks, who nervously transforms into a Super Saiyan and uses his left arm to blast Goten in the back, as he's unable to stop his momentum from landing outside the ring. Trunks is declared the winner, but Goten is upset that he broke his promise in not only using his left arm, but turning Super Saiyan as well. Trunks, however, offers Goten 3 of his toys as an apology, and Vegeta brags about his son's victory to Goku. The next match is then announced, as the winner of the Youth Division gets to go head-to-head with the world champion Hercule, who's absolutely speechless. As the crowd chants his name, Hercule stands backstage, thinking that he'll be slaughtered if he goes in the ring with Trunks. He, however, comes out with a false bravado, and his fans continue to cheer him on. Trunks wonders if this guy is really as strong as everyone says, and Goten cheers on his friend, but Hercule tells him to shut up. The Z Fighters decide to leave as they know how the battle will end, but Videl convinces convinces Gohan to stay, still not fully grasping the situation at hand. Hercule puts on a show for the crowd, and Trunks thinks he looks ridiculous, but prepares to fight. Hercule nervously tries to convince the Half Saiyan to pull his punches, but Trunks insists on going all out. The two argue back and forth as the match looks as though it's about to begin, and Hercule fakes an injury in his knee, although it doesn't work to his favor. The champ tries to strategize how he'll get out of this, and decides he'll pretend to lose on purpose to save face. He convinces Trunks to tap him on the face lightly at the beginning of the match, but Trunks sends him flying out of the ring in an instant, much to the surprise of the crowd. Hercule does his usual lies and persuades the crowd that he let the kid win, and they cheer him on thinking he was such a great guy to lose on purpose. Trunks is confused, and we later see the champ backstage crying about the extreme pain he's in. The announcer states that the adult matches will begin shortly, and the Z Fighters decide to look for some food in the meantime. Meanwhile, Trunks calls Goten over to him, and they both witness a man dressed in a funny looking costume known as Mighty Mask. Trunks suggests taking his costume so the two of them can compete in the adult division, but Goten is understandably cautious. Trunks, however, decides to go along with the plan anyway and knocks the man out, the two then stealing his clothes and running off. Back at the cafeteria, Goku and Vegeta demolish a ton of food in front of them, and Gohan and Videl arrive to join the feast. Time passes and the group finish eating and move on, bumping into a strange pair, which both Goku and Piccolo take notice of especially. The shorter stranger, who happens to be floating in the air, greets Goku, telling him that he's heard all about him and wanted to spar with him for a long time. He says he doubts he'll win though, and shakes Goku's hand. As the two fall silent, the stranger says that Goku has a good soul after all, and the pair leave, Goku then acknowledging that winning the tournament won't be so easy after all. Piccolo states that those two aren't from Earth and wonders why they're here, but Krillin brushes it off and the team continue to the station to draw for their opponents. Goku scopes out the competition and notices a strange pair of evil-looking bald men and Mighty Mask, thinking he looks weird with his long body. The drawing begins though, and the matches are set. Krillin is set to face off against a man named Punta. The alien who shook Goku's hand earlier, now known as Shin, is set to fight Piccolo. Videl is set to fight one of the big bald guys known as Spopovich. The other alien with Shin, now known as Kibito, will be fighting Gohan, or the Great Saiyaman. 18 is set to fight Hercule, and Vegeta will be fighting Goku, much to his satisfaction. Mighty Mask will fight a man named Killer, and Spopovich's partner Yamu will be fighting a man named Jewel. The announcer takes everyone to the waiting room to go over the rules once again, and with that, the Tenkaichi Budokai Adult Division begins. Krillin is first up against Punta, who leaps around the tournament stage to show off his agility. Krillin, however, makes light work of him and tosses him out of the ring, shocking the entire crowd. The next match is announced as Shin and Piccolo move toward the ring, Piccolo, however, appearing to be nervous. Krillin, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta observe, as Vegeta thinks to himself that we'll finally be able to see what this mystery fighter is made of. As the two stand in front of each other, Piccolo sweats, wondering why he finds himself so hesitant to attack. As he continues to think to himself as to who in the world this stranger is, Shin speaks, telling Piccolo that he'll find out soon enough. The Namekian is astonished at the fact that Shin was reading his mind and forfeits the match immediately, telling the group backstage that this alien is extremely powerful and that the difference between he and Piccolo is too great. The announcer then moves on to the next match between Videl and Spopovich, and as the big guy and Shin cross paths, Shin glances back with grave concern. As the crowd cheers on Videl, Killer and Jewel notice how different Spopovich looks compared to the last time they saw him at the tournament. The match begins, but we cut to Shin, who encounters Piccolo once again. Piccolo decides to ask him about his identity directly, and Kibito answers, stating that he's the Supreme Kai. Piccolo is frozen in disbelief as the Supreme Kai walks past and tells him to keep this a secret for now. Piccolo then states that he's the Kai above all others, sweating profusely. Goku notices his friend's panic and offers to talk to the alien for him, but Piccolo urges him to stay away, and on another world, King Kai nervously acknowledges the Supreme Kai's presence on Earth as well. We cut back to the fight as Videl lands a devastating kick to Spopovich's face, knocking him to the arena floor. He gets up though and charges in, trading blows with the champ's daughter. Goku comes over to watch as Videl knocks the man to the floor again, but is surprised to see him stand up with minimum effort as he charges toward her repeatedly. Videl lands a devastating combo and ends it with a knee to the face, now out of breath as Spopovich collapses to the floor. The match appears to be over, but he stands up once again, smiling deviously, shocking Gohan. Goku states that Videl better give up while she has a chance, and Spopovich backhands her across the arena, then kicks her into the air, nearly knocking her out of bounds as she saves herself with the flight flight ability she learned from Gohan. Gohan thinks there might still be hope for her, but Goku says that it might have been better if she'd lost the match instead, as the guy isn't fazed by her attacks at all. Videl launches in and lands a kick to Spopovich's neck and breaks it, much to the shock of the crowd. Spopovich, however, snaps his neck back into place and punches Videl in the nose, drawing blood. Videl launches into the air to gain some distance, but surprisingly, Spopovich can fly too. He launches an energy attack at Videl as she falls to the arena floor. The Z-Fighter's trying to figure out what's going on backstage, as this human has more power than he can control. Out in the arena, Videl takes a heavy beating but refuses to give up, leaving Gohan to watch in horror. Spopovich continues to mercilessly beat Videl while Gohan pleads with her to give up. Spopovich grabs her by the hair though and knees her directly in the face, bloodying her and knocking out a few teeth as he throws her to the ground. Gohan boils with anger, watching his schoolmates suffer at the hands of this stranger, and suddenly transforms into a Super Saiyan to put a stop to the match. Spopovich's partner Yamu though orders him to quit playing around and end the match, so he drops Videl out of bounds and wins. Gohan then powers down and rushes to her aid, vowing to take down Spopovich at all costs. Noticing they don't have any sensu beans, Goku uses instant transmission to get some from Korin's tower. Meanwhile, Hercule is informed on Videl's loss and rushes to the ER, where he sees her beaten to a pulp. Gohan assures Hercule that Videl will be alright and heads off to prepare for his match. Hercule then putting together that his daughter must be dating him and complains while the doctors treat her wounds. Goku returns with the last 3 sensu beans that Korin had and gives one to Gohan. Gohan rushes back to the ER and feeds the bean to Videl, although the doctor and Champ were giving him a hard time. The half Saiyan then runs off as the next match is about to begin, and Videl jumps up good as new, shocking her father and doctor in the room. Gohan arrives and steps in the ring with his opponent Kibito, and his classmates notice him by the way his hair looks. As they cheer him on thinking he has no chance of winning, Gohan wonders what he should do now that everyone knows his identity. He says to himself that he shouldn't show his full strength, but Kibito tells him to become a Super Saiyan, which surprises Gohan. He's hesitant about transforming in front of his classmates, but Piccolo yells to him to do so. Backstage, the Supreme Kai tells the group that they'll be using Gohan for a moment, and no matter what happens in the next few seconds, they must not interfere. Vegeta of course scoffs at the idea of taking orders from a complete stranger, but Piccolo reveals that this man is the Supreme Kai, which shocks Krillin, Vegeta, and even Goku. Now having decided to grant Kibito's wish, Gohan's energy begins to swell. Backstage, Krillin asks the Supreme Kai what will happen once Gohan transforms. He tells the group that Spopovich and Yamu will attack him, but only to steal his energy. Gohan decides to transform into a Super Saiyan 2 for Kibito, surprising everyone around him. Although Kibito is amazed at Gohan's strength, Vegeta is unimpressed, stating that he isn't even close to the level he was when he defeated Cell. Suddenly, Spopovich and Yamu notice Gohan's power level and rush in with a device marked with the same letter M that they have on their foreheads. As Gohan attempts to defend himself, the Supreme Kai locks him in place with an energy attack, and the two stab him with the device, steal his energy, and fly off. As the Z-Fighters prepare to help, the Supreme Kai tells them to wait, as Kibito will get him back to full strength. He then says that he'll be following Spopovich and Yamu, and that the others are welcome to join him to help out. As Chi-Chi, Bulma, and the rest of the crowd sit in confusion, Goku agrees to tag along to see how he can help. Meanwhile, as the two fly along with Gohan's stolen energy, Yamu states that the Majin will finally be revived, and that someone named Lord Babidi will be pleased with their work. The Supreme Kai is in pursuit, and back at the tournament grounds, Videl rushes over to Gohan, as Krillin says he'll go along with Goku, but first he has to talk to 18. Vegeta then gets upset, telling Goku not to skip out on their match, as it's the only reason he decided to enter this stupid tournament in the first place. Goku promises to fight him afterward, but Vegeta reminds him that he's only on Earth for one day. Piccolo flies off behind Supreme Kai, and Goku leaves Gohan with Kibito as he takes off as well, followed by a reluctant Vegeta, still upset about this sudden change of events. 18 declines to tag along with the group, and Krillin takes off without her. Kibito restores Gohan, but is shocked to discover his limitless potential in the process. Off in the distance, Goten and Trunks, or Mighty Mask, wonder what's going on, while Gohan stands up, receiving instruction from Kibito to follow him to get up to speed on what's going on. As Gohan prepares to fly off, Videl asks to go along as well. Gohan agrees, so long as she promises to turn around if things get dangerous, and the two take off, Hercule surprised that his daughter can fly, just like the boy she's with. Piccolo, Krillin, Goku, and Vegeta catch up with the Supreme Kai, who thanks them for coming along to help, as he might not have been able to defeat this new threat on his own. He explains that the two guys they saw at the tournament were only pawns in the plan of a magician named Babidi, who once upon a time conjured up a terrifying monster named Majin Buu, who only in a few years destroyed several hundred planets alone. Vegeta thinks to himself that the Saiyan race could do the same, but the Supreme Kai reads his mind and corrects him, stating that at the time of Buu's birth, there were 5 Supreme Kais, each strong enough to destroy the likes of Frieza with a single blast, and 4 of them were killed by Majin Buu. The Kai then explains the current situation, saying that Buu's power is currently sealed away. We cut to Kibito, who's also explaining the situation to Gohan and Videl, stating that the Supreme Kai killed Babidi long ago, but did not destroy Buu, as he left him trapped inside the seal. However, the two recently discovered that Babidi had a son named Babidi, who now plans to resurrect Buu himself. Goku wonders if Babidi is strong, and the Supreme Kai says if he's anything like his father, he'll be weak physically, but he wields powerful magic. He goes on to mention that he has the power to use the evil in someone's heart and possess them to do his bidding, which is exactly what he did to Spopovich and Yamu. Meanwhile, Gohan asks Kibito what Yamu and Spopovich wanted with him at the tournament. Kibito explains that in order to bring back Buu, the two needed lots of energy. Those two were sent to the tournament to gather said energy, and Gohan happened to be the ideal target. Kibito and Supreme Kai suspected this though, which is why they chose to enter the competition in the first place. We cut back to Supreme Kai, as Goku wonders why he didn't destroy Buu after Babidi was defeated. Supreme Kai states that it was nothing he could have done though, as the seal could have been undone if they disturbed it even slightly. Plus, the ball Buu is trapped in was placed where humans couldn't have gone, so it felt safe. Meanwhile, Kibito tells Gohan they need to pick up the pace to catch the others, but Videl says she's already going as fast as she can. Gohan says she should turn back, and tells her to tell Goten and his mom everything that's going on, and she agrees. Before stopping though, Videl asks Gohan if he was really the Golden Warrior, to which he confirms, adding that he didn't want anyone to find out. Videl then puts the pieces together, stating that 7 years ago, the group of fighters that battled Cell were the ones who really defeated him, and not her father. Gohan confirms this, and Videl wishes him luck on his new battle, hoping to see him again soon as he and Kibito take off at light speed. Meanwhile, Yamu and Spopovich are still well on their way as Kibito and Gohan catch up to Goku and the others. The group land at the location and suppress their ki as they watch closely, noticing an alien standing outside of a dug-up area talking to Spopovich and Yamu. Kibito realizes that Babidi must have hid his ship underground, and Supreme Kai says that he knew they were coming. Piccolo suggests rushing in to attack, but Supreme Kai urges everyone to wait as they would likely revive Buu outside, not underground. The unknown alien goes back in, and 2 people emerge from the area, a tall demonic looking man and a small wrinkly alien who's floating. Kibito and Supreme Kai freak out in witnessing that Babidi has taken control of the demon man now known as Deborah, king of the demon realm. Supreme Kai explains that in this universe, one of the Z fighters may be the strongest, but in the demon world, Deborah is on top. Krillin starts to get worried, and Gohan realizes the smaller enemy is Babidi himself. Supreme Kai again states that he's pretty weak when it comes to physical strength, but his magic is nothing to take lightly. Piccolo wonders if he's strong enough to bend the will of others, but Kibito states that Babidi takes advantage of the evil in one's heart and controls them via their thoughts. Supreme Kai says they hadn't counted on Deborah arriving and begins to doubt their chances at survival. Vegeta, however, vows to take this enemy down and prevent Majin Buu's revival. Meanwhile, Babidi is pleased with Spopovich and Yamu's work, but decides to dispose of them. He casts a spell on Spopovich which causes him to explode from the inside. Yamu tries to escape, but Babidi tells his minion Pui Pui to take him down as he blasts him out of the sky with minimum effort. As the Z fighters witness the carnage, Babidi and Deborah conspire amongst themselves as they're fully aware of the Supreme Kai's presence as well as the other 6 members and decide to get things started. Babidi instructs Deborah to kill everyone except Supreme Kai, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta and departs into his ship along with Pui to make the necessary preparation for Buu. The Z fighters Fighters notice everyone leaving except Dabura, and Vegeta catches on to their ruse, screaming that they've been discovered as Dabura rushes in to do his master's bidding. Dabura flies up to Kibito and fires a ki blast in his face, immediately killing him. He then spits on Krillin and Piccolo, who are unable to react to the Supreme Kai's warning and turn into stone. Goku wonders if there's a way to get them back to normal, and Supreme Kai tells him that they need to kill Dabura to reverse the effect. Goku says he's glad the fix is so simple, and Dabura flies back to the ship as Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta follow. Supreme Kai insists they stay away, but reluctantly follows along shortly after. The four enter the ship and land in an empty room. Supreme Kai tells them that the only way to escape is to defeat Babidi, but Vegeta scoffs at the remark, stating he could destroy the entire ship if he wanted to. Supreme Kai protests though, exclaiming that if he did such a thing, the shock could release Majin Buu, resulting in their inevitable defeat. Meanwhile, Babidi watches the group through a crystal ball and instructs his minion Pui to steal their energy. Pui then enters the room with Goku and the others and tells them that Babidi is on the lowest floor, but they'll have to get through him first to get there. Goku, however, doesn't think he'll be much of a challenge. In the room, the trio play rock paper scissors to see who will fight first, and Vegeta wins. Supreme Kai gets concerned as he prepares to fight Pui by himself, but Vegeta says that Alien is no match for him. Pui says there's no way to escape, and that all the damage the three received will be absorbed by the ship and transferred to Buu, but Vegeta isn't worried about losing energy at all. Pui rushes in to attack, but Vegeta blocks his kick and knocks him away. Vegeta then uppercuts Pui and gives him a few quick jabs, much to the surprise of Babidi, Dabura, and even the Supreme Kai. In an attempt to turn the tide of the battle, Babidi uses his magic to change the room to suit Pui's strength, but it doesn't affect Vegeta at all, as a measly 10 times gravity is nothing to him. Vegeta wastes no time and rushes in, touching him on the chest and blasting him to pieces in an instant, leaving the Supreme Kai and Babidi in awe. Vegeta complains about how weak his opponent was, and the group descend to the next floor in the ship, much to Babidi's anger. Dabura wonders which minion his master will use next, and Babidi decides to use Yakan, stating that these Earthlings shouldn't be underestimated, as they defeated Pui without trying. Meanwhile, Vegeta bets that Majin Buu won't be such a big deal, just like Dabura, which shocks the Supreme Kai to hear. Vegeta goes on to further explain that besides his spit, Dabura isn't that impressive, and they could defeat him no problem. Supreme Kai asks Goku if he feels the same, and he agrees, then saying that maybe 7 years ago he would have been a threat, as he has the same power level now as Cell did back then. As Goku grows impatient waiting on the next threat, suddenly a big green monster steps into the room, revealing himself as Yakan. The monster immediately attacks Goku and almost scratches him, but only rips his shirt. Supreme Kai suggests jumping in to help Goku, but Gohan tells him that his dad can handle it, which shocks him. Babidi, thinking Goku was scared, decides to raise the stakes by using his magic to take everyone to Yakan's home world, the planet of darkness. The group is unable to see at first as Yakan rushes in to attack, but Goku counters and kicks him in the face, much to his surprise. Goku goes on to say that Yakan really underestimated them, as they can see without having to use their eyes by feeling the vibrations around them and such. To add some light to the room anyway though, Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan, surprising Dabura and Babidi. Babidi wonders what happened, but Dabura isn't impressed, saying that he's only glowing. The wizard tells one of his nearby minions to get him the strongest energy measuring device they have, and back at stage 2, Goku tells Yakan that not even having a dark room will help him. Yakan doesn't seem worried though, and meanwhile, Babidi reads Goku's power level on his monitor to be 3,000 Kilis. Dabura is in disbelief, and Babidi thinks the machine must be broken. He however states that if it is correct, Yakan doesn't stand a chance, as his power level is only 800 Kilis. Yakan suddenly opens his mouth and sucks out Goku's Super Saiyan energy into a ball of light and eats it. Everyone wonders what's going on, but the Supreme Kai yells that Yakan's specialty is eating light energy. Gohan warns Goku, who rather than refraining from making the same mistake twice, transforms into a Super Saiyan yet again to feed Yakan. As the monster begins to suck out his energy once more, Babidi watches from the crystal ball and yells for him to stop, as if he eats all of Goku's power, there won't be enough to revive Majin Buu. His concerns prove to be pointless though, as Goku instantly raises his power and feeds Yakan way more energy than he could take, causing him to explode. Vegeta notices Goku's ability to exceed the level of a Super Saiyan, and Babidi stands frozen in disbelief, stating that these Earthlings are way stronger than he could have predicted. Noting his master's concern, Dabura decides to step up and finish off the group himself. Babidi asks him what his plan is, but Dabura states that as the Lord of Darkness, no one can beat him with raw raw strength alone. Since it's Gohan's turn next, Goku wonders if he's been training, but Vegeta cuts in, saying he's gotten soft in the past 7 years. Suddenly though, Dabura appears, congratulating the group for defeating Yakan, but declaring victory over them. Vegeta is unimpressed, and Dabura tells all 3 of them to attack him at once. Gohan steps in though, saying that it's his turn to fight alone, angering Dabura. Back at the Tenkaichi Budokai, the announcer and staff members figure out how they'll resolve the issue of a lack of fighters, given most of them took off. Hercule assumes they left because they were scared to face him, then suddenly gets an idea. After hyping up his adoring fans, the champ suggests an all-out battle royale amongst the remaining contestants, which everyone agrees to. One of the staff members then tells Hercule how brave he is, as all the fighters will likely come after him, given he's the strongest one. The announcer updates the crowd on the new plan and calls the remaining contestants Hercule, Mighty Mask, 18, Jewel, and Killer to the ring. Killer tells Mighty Mask they should take out Hercule together, but he declines and says 18 is the only threat. Meanwhile, Jewel tries to flirt with 18 but is rejected, much to his shock. The announcer then begins the match, and Jewel and Killer are knocked out of the ring in an instant by Mighty Mask and 18, leaving them as the last contenders with Hercule. Confident in his abilities, Hercule says he'll take them both down, but the two ignore him, while 18 thinks something is strange about the way Mighty Mask looks. Hercule thinks on how he'll take both of the fighters down and win over the crowd, raising 2 fingers in the air and announcing his victory. Mighty Mask thinks he's an idiot and decides to keep ignoring him, setting his sights on 18. As Hercule runs in to deliver one of his signature punches, he misses and notices Mighty Mask and 18 trading blows the next moment, surprising him. The two take off into the air, and Mighty Mask attempts to land a blow to 18, but is smacked to the arena floor, recovering easily while Hercule just stands in awe. Mighty Mask dodges a blast from 18 and decides he can't fight in base form, so he transforms into a Super Saiyan to raise his power level. 18 is surprised, then realizing Mighty Mask is actually Goten and Trunks in a costume. The two Super Saiyans shoot a giant ki blast, which actually scares 18, creating an enormous explosion that shocks the entire crowd. Realizing she needs to finish the job quickly, 18 exposes the pair for who they really are, and uses a Destructo Disc to split the costume in half, defeating Mighty Mask as the two Super Saiyans fly away, disqualifying themselves from the tournament. 18 lands back into the ring, and Hercule says he's gonna die. The crowd cheers on both Hercule and 18 as the announcer goes on about the two being the final contestants. Hercule is extremely worried, and Bulma and the others celebrate over how 18 is about to win 10 million Zenny. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks mope over their loss, but run into Videl outside the tournament grounds and flag her down. Back at the Budokai, 18 makes a move on Hercule, who screams in terror, thinking he's about to get pummeled. 18, however, tells him to shut up and whispers that if he gives her 20 million Zenny, she'll intentionally throw the match. Hercule of course agrees to save his reputation, and 18 pretends as though she was hurt by the champ. Hercule then puts on a show for the crowd, but 18 tells him to cut it short and get things over with. Hercule then rushes at her with his strongest attack, the Ultra Super Megaton Punch, which lands a direct hit to the face. 18 asks if this is really Hercule's strongest move and flies out of the ring intentionally, giving him the victory. As Hercule is happy about his win, 18 tells him she'll be by to pick up the money tomorrow, and if he doesn't pay up, she'll kill him. Videl fills Goten and Trunks in on the current events, and rather than looking worried, the two get excited and rush off in the direction of their dads as Super Saiyans, shocking Videl. While Hercule was busy winning the Budokai, Gohan had been facing off against Dabura. Gohan as a Super Saiyan throws a few punches at the demon and kicks him off into the distance, but Dabura catches himself and blows a stream of fire back at the half Saiyan. Gohan easily dodges it and flies back toward Dabura, but hits a few of the demons after images. The real Dabura is a distance away and announces himself just before he shoots an electrified fireball toward Gohan. It's a direct hit and Gohan is knocked into the surrounding water, then flying back up to the surface and throws away his tattered Great Saiyaman clothes. Goku says Dabura is a lot stronger than he thought he'd be, but Vegeta says he isn't so strong that they can't beat him. He then gets annoyed as Gohan takes longer to finish the fight. Dabura spits at Gohan, but he's able to react fast enough that it only hits his glove, and he removes it before he's turned to stone. Dabura then conjures a sword and nearly hits Gohan, but the Super Saiyan grabs and breaks it before it can make contact. Meanwhile, Babidi is disappointed with Dabura's performance, while Vegeta grows more irritated that this fight is taking so long and plans to step in, yelling that he's only concerned at this point with fighting Goku, which catches Dabura's attention. Dabura then tells Babidi to bring him back to the ship, as he's made an interesting discovery. His master does so, and Dabura retreats, telling Gohan that he's found another ideal fighter for him and that he no longer needs to intervene. Dabura then chats with Babidi, telling him that one of the fighters among the three has evil in his heart that they can use to make him do their bidding. Babidi likes the idea of the three fighting amongst themselves, saying they could provide enough energy to revive Majin Buu after all. Goku and the others wonder about this fighter that's supposedly better than Dabura, and suddenly, Supreme Kai seems to realize what Dabura meant. The wizard then casts a spell, and Vegeta suddenly starts yelling, transforming into a Super Saiyan. Supreme Kai tells Vegeta that Babidi's trying to control him, but the Saiyan Prince can't seem to break free. Babidi watches from his crystal ball, stating now that he's under his control, he'll release Vegeta's hidden powers and allow him to overcome his limits. Things then settle down a bit as Vegeta looks up with an M now visible on his forehead, symbolizing the spell's success as Majin Vegeta was born. Pleased with his work, Babidi decides to transport the group back to the Tenkaichi Budokai, where Hercule and everyone else witness their arrival. Babidi encourages Vegeta to fight everyone as hard as he can and even kill some people if he wants, but Vegeta tells him to shut up, exclaiming that Kakarot is his only target. Babidi is surprised that Vegeta wasn't completely under his control, but says it doesn't matter as long as the end goal is reached. Hercule notices the group are the ones who defeated Cell and gets nervous, but before he could process another thought, Vegeta fires an energy blast at Goku, which skids past him and completely massacres hundreds of innocent lives in the tournament seating area and beyond. As the remaining crowd rushes to exit the stadium, Goku looks toward Vegeta in anger. Bulma wonders what's gotten into her husband, and meanwhile, Babidi is elated, stating that Vegeta just killed 200 people. Gohan yells at Vegeta and asks what he's doing, but Vegeta ignores him and challenges Goku to a fight. Goku ignores the request and asks Vegeta if he let himself get possessed on purpose, but rather than answering, the Saiyan Prince throws another ki blast at the audience and kills hundreds more. Angered, Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan and prepares to fight, but the Supreme Kai tells him to stop as they'd only be playing into Babidi's hands. Goku asks the question again though, and Vegeta admits he let himself fall under Babidi's spell on purpose so he could settle the score with Goku at full strength once and for all. The Supreme Kai says his reasoning is ridiculous, which causes Vegeta to lash out, exclaiming how Kakarot surpassed his strength, mocked his pride, and even spared his life, which can't be tolerated. Listening in silence, Goku decides to demand Babidi to transport him and Vegeta to a location with no people around. He says if he does this, he'll fight Vegeta at full strength like he wants. Supreme Kai interjects though, saying that if they want to fight each other, they'll have to get past him first. Unfortunately for him though, Goku takes him up on his offer and prepares to kill him, much to the surprise of Gohan and even Vegeta. Supreme Kai then backs down, knowing he can't possibly stand up to these Saiyans. Babidi grants Goku's request and transports the group to a deserted area where the two Saiyans can fight freely. Supreme Kai then tells the two to do as they please, but he says he and Gohan will find Dabura and Babidi and defeat them. As Supreme Kai gets ready to enter the ship once again, Babidi commands Vegeta to kill him, but the Saiyan Prince fights the mind control and refuses, stating that nothing will get in the way of his battle with Kakarot. Babidi is shocked at Vegeta's reply and tries to command him again, but the Saiyan refuses to be his slave, as he may have taken over his mind and his body, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps, and that's his pride. Both Babidi and the Supreme Kai are shocked to see Vegeta refuse his wishes, and Dabura thinks they should let Gohan and the Supreme Kai through so they won't destroy the ship. The entrance then opens and the two head down, but not before Gohan takes a sensu bean and bids his father a farewell for now. Gohan and Supreme Kai land in front of Dabura and Babidi, who greet them, as the Kai prepares to handle Babidi and Gohan gears up to battle Dabura once more. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta stare each other down. Goku says he'll end the fight as soon as possible so his energy doesn't get taken, and transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, stronger than Gohan was at his maximum when he fought Cell 7 years ago. Vegeta then powers up, surprising Goku, who says this will take longer than he thought, and the battle begins. Vegeta throws a hard kick at Goku, but he manages to block it. The two throw out punches that the other catches, and they attempt to knee each other until Vegeta headbutts Goku, but Goku kicks the Saiyan Prince away. Vegeta bounces back from the impact though, and the two smirk at each other, ready to continue. Meanwhile, Babidi suggests they all return to the surface, as Majin Buu will soon be at full power and might destroy the ship when he emerges from his ball. Supreme Kai actually agrees, although he has no intention of letting Buu get revived. Babidi changes locations and asks Dabura if he can defeat Gohan, to which he replies that he's trash and he'll get rid of him soon enough. Gohan then remembers what his father said about him using his anger to his advantage and transforms into a Super Saiyan as they all prepare to fight one another. Suddenly though, the meter on Majin Buu's ball begins to beat, alerting Babidi that Majin Buu is at full power as he shouts with joy, much to the terror of both Supreme Kai and Gohan. Supreme Kai wonders how this could be, but Gohan explains that the power emitting from the battle between his father and Vegeta must be so great that it fueled Buu's revival expeditiously. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta continue to trade blows in their epic battle, appearing to be on par with each other. Goten and Trunks, far off in the distance, wonder where that incredible energy is coming from and decide to keep going to figure out what's going on. The two Saiyans pause to catch their breath, and Goku tells Vegeta that although he trained constantly in the afterlife, it appeared as though the two were about the same level of strength. Vegeta says that he himself may have trained harder, but the gap between them in power has always been there, which is why he allowed himself to be controlled by Babidi so he could close it and reign supreme. Goku questions Vegeta's true motive though, causing him to exclaim how he wanted to return to the way he was before, the perfect warrior, cold and ruthless, the kind that lived by his strength alone and uninhibited by foolish emotion. He says how Goku's influence softened his heart over the years, and how he even settled down, started a family, and even started living the life of a normal earthling. Vegeta states that he needed to find his past self, even if it required the help of someone like Babidi, and now he feels much better. As Goku wonders if he really believes what he's saying, smoke starts to shoot out from Majin Buu's ball, symbolizing his inevitable arrival. The Supreme Kai tells Gohan they should run away, but Gohan says he can't leave things like this. The Kai insists though that not even Gohan could win against Majin Buu, and if they stay, they'll be killed for sure. Rather than running away though, Gohan powers up and fires a Kamehameha at the ball, which Dabura and Babidi barely manage to avoid. The impact is so great that the ball is ejected from its base and crashes to the ground, opening and revealing nothing inside. Babidi can't believe the ball is empty, and the Supreme Kai lectures him about how he's lost, saying that he and Gohan have won the day. Gohan, however, sits in fear as he feels a tremendous power emerging out of thin air. Everyone looks up and notices a pink smoke cloud that came out of the sphere, which collects itself and takes shape. Majin Buu reappears once again, much to the shock of Gohan and Supreme Kai. Buu stands smiling as everyone watches. Dabura asks Babidi if this creature is really Majin Buu, but Supreme Kai confirms as he says he could never forget such a terrifying face. Dabura, however, thinks he looks ridiculous, and meanwhile, Gohan tells Supreme Kai that he might be able to defeat Majin Buu since he's been in captivity for so long. We cut back to the battle between our Saiyan warriors as Goku pauses after sensing Majin Buu's energy. Vegeta, however, laughs, stating that Buu is nothing as they've proved to be stronger than their opponents at every turn. Goku, however, disagrees, saying that this power is different somehow, but Vegeta, unwilling to stop this fight, ignores the statement. Meanwhile, Babidi introduces himself to Buu and tells him that he's his new master. Buu, however, plays around with him, as Dabura says there's nothing to gain from such a weak-minded moron. Hearing this, Buu skips over to Dabura, who welcomes the chance to fight him. Gohan begins to have his doubts about Buu, but Supreme Kai is certain that he's a serious threat. Buu then releases steam from his body and smirks, ferociously gouging Dabura's eyes and kicking him into a nearby boulder, surprising everyone watching. As Buu claps for himself like a child, Babidi is pleased with his servant's strength. Babidi compliments Buu as he dances around, and Gohan can't believe this monster has so much power, stating it explosively grew in an instant. Meanwhile, Trunks feels a huge ki and wonders what's going on. Goten wonders which way they should go, and Trunks suggests heading toward it as it's probably the monster they heard about. Goku notes that Majin Buu's ki has increased and says they need to do something now as it's their fault he's been awakened to begin with. Vegeta of course knows this, but still wanting to finish the fight, he says he doesn't care. Goku tells him everyone will be killed, including his wife and son, but Vegeta lashes out again, saying that he gave himself to Babidi so he could be free of emotion. Goku, however, tells him to cut it out as he's still able to think for himself. Realizing their battle will be put on hold, Vegeta agrees to fight Buu together with Goku and asks for a senzu bean to regain his energy. As Goku reaches for a couple prepared to fight the monster together, Vegeta knocks him out and eats one of the beans, stating that he'll finish off Buu himself since he's to blame for all this. Meanwhile, Gohan suggests killing Babidi to the Supreme Kai, but he tells him not to, as he's the only one with the power to seal Buu away again when he eventually becomes too much for him to handle. He then gives up, saying all hope is lost, but Gohan suggests trying to escape. Shortly after, Babidi gives Buu the orders to kill the two heroes. Gohan grabs Supreme Kai and flies off, stating that he's confident in his own speed. Buu, however, takes off and appears in front of the two in mere moments, surprising Gohan as he's smacked to the ground. Supreme Kai attempts to attack Buu, but Buu claps his hands together and smashes his face, then pounding him to the ground, same as Gohan. Buu lands on the ground next to a beaten Supreme Kai, as Babidi cheers him on to kill him and Gohan. The Kai attempts to use his telekinetic powers to hurt Buu, but it has no effect. Buu, however, recovers and replicates the move, knocking the Supreme Kai across the deserted area and lands on his back, crushing him. Babidi takes this time to taunt the Supreme Kai, but suddenly Gohan intervenes, kicking Buu in the face and leaving his footprint. Buu recovers and Babidi runs off as Gohan is amazed by Buu's power. Buu tells Gohan he's annoying and shoots an energy blast his way, sending the Super Saiyan flying into the air, unable to stop himself. As Babidi cheers in excitement, Supreme Kai uses his telekinetic powers to extinguish the blast as Gohan falls into a forest unconscious. Babidi tells Buu he can finish off the Supreme Kai now, but Buu says he's hungry and would rather eat him instead. Suddenly, a spear flies right through Majin Buu, revealing a damaged Dabura who threw the weapon, much to Babidi's anger. Trunks and Goten are nearby and land on a mountain, returning to base form. They try to figure out who's on the battlefield, but manage to recognize Supreme Kai. Not far from them, Goten notices Piccolo and Krillin as statues. Trunks knocks over Piccolo and breaks him, and the two hide behind a rock, nervous about what they just did. Meanwhile, Dabura insists Majin Buu can't be controlled and won't be a faithful servant, but Babidi is insulted he'd speak that way about his Majin Buu. Buu then pulls out the spear, and the hole left in his belly quickly closes up, and he tells Dabura he's gonna eat him. We then cut to Vegeta, who stands over the panel of Babidi's spaceship, saying he could get in if he destroys it. He then notices Gohan's ki is completely gone, alluding to his death and taking full responsibility. Meanwhile, Trunks and Goten are watching as Buu dances around, saying he's going to eat Dabura. Dabura prepares to attack the monster, but Buu immediately turns him into a cookie and devours him whole, killing the Demon King. The two kids are shocked, and suddenly Krillin returns to normal. He notices Goten and Trunks and wonders why they're here, as Trunks is confused on why he was just a statue. Krillin remembers being spat on by Dabura, and Goten thinks that must have been the guy who was just eaten. Trunks figures Krillin returned to normal once he died, and suddenly has a realization. He runs off towards Piccolo's remains and gets scared thinking he killed him, but the Namekian is on one of the rocks above them, watching the events play out with Buu. Trunks wonders how Piccolo was able to survive, but Piccolo says he can regenerate as long as his brain isn't damaged. Babidi then commands Buu to eat the Supreme Kai, and Piccolo is taken aback to find him lying weak on the ground. Krillin tells Piccolo to calm down though, as there's no chance for him to defeat someone like Buu. Buu lists off all the different ways he could eat Supreme Kai, but suddenly an explosion interrupts his thoughts. It was Vegeta who destroyed Babidi's spaceship. Babidi is of course enraged, while Trunks is overjoyed to see his father. Vegeta identifies the strange and bizarre looking creature as Majin Buu, and he's angry over the loss of Gohan. Piccolo's shocked to hear this, and Buu gets upset about the Saiyan Prince calling him ugly. Buu says he'll kill Vegeta, and Babidi gives him the green light. Krillin notices Buu's ki has gotten higher, and Vegeta says he intends to take him and Babidi to hell with him. Supreme Kai realizes that Vegeta intends to die, as he powers up and rushes in, hitting Buu with a heavy kick and following it up with a punch to the face, sending him flying. Vegeta launches an intense physical attack on Buu, leaving Babidi confused, Krillin impressed, and Trunks happy. Piccolo observes that Vegeta's power passed that of a Super Saiyan and even Gohan's when he fought Cell. However, he recalls Gohan still being defeated by Majin Buu, then wondering how he was able to achieve this power. Vegeta delivers a massive punch that sends Buu flying, but he easily recovers from the damage and heals himself. Vegeta then fires a powerful ki blast that goes straight through Buu's stomach, causing him to fall to the ground and appear dead. Babidi is frightened, but Goten and Trunks are ecstatic until Buu gets back up. Buu heals himself and expresses his anger toward Vegeta, telling him that attack almost hurt him. Babidi dances in delight as Buu creates a huge energy ball and screams that Vegeta will regret that. In an instant, Buu unleashes all his stored energy, creating a massive explosion that destroys the entire area, with only a huge crater remaining. Piccolo, Krillin, Trunks, and Goten manage to escape, but Vegeta and Supreme Kai are caught in the blast. Buu and Babidi float over the crater, while Piccolo worries about Supreme Kai's condition and Trunks notices his father's severe injuries. Vegeta is frustrated with his situation, and his left arm is no longer functioning. Babidi notices that Vegeta is still alive and thinks he could have been a great servant if he'd been obedient. Piccolo believes Vegeta to be no match for Buu, and that Gohan and even Supreme Kai are gone now. Trunks is in disbelief that his father could lose, but Piccolo refuses to offer reassurance. Buu then tears out a piece of his own stomach and stretches it out before shooting an explosive blast from his mouth, narrowly missed by Vegeta. Buu then throws the piece of stomach around Vegeta and traps him. The monster celebrates while Vegeta lies on the ground and kicks the Saiyan Prince, pounding him while he's defenseless. Krillin says at this rate Vegeta will be killed and wonders where Goku and Gohan are. Goten refuses, however, to believe that his brother is dead. Despite Piccolo's warning, Trunks turns Super Saiyan and flies off to help Vegeta, with Goten following. Trunks kicks Buu off of Vegeta, knocking him away, and Goten unravels Vegeta from the piece of stomach. The boys tend to him, and Babidi is surprised that Vegeta still has allies. It doesn't bother him though, as he believes Majin Buu to be invincible and will kill them all. Stating that what he did is unforgivable though, Piccolo tells Babidi that he may not be able to defeat Buu, but he can at least kill him. Babidi states though that if he dies, no one can seal Buu away, but Piccolo responds that the world will be destroyed even if Babidi lives. The wizard tries to call Buu over to help him, but Piccolo cuts him in half with one swift chop. Meanwhile, Vegeta tells Trunks to take care of his mother, and his son is confused as he smiles. Vegeta instructs the boys to find shelter as he plans to confront Majin Buu alone. Trunks suggests fighting together, but Vegeta believes that Buu can't be defeated by normal means. Despite Trunks and Goten's insistence that they can help, Vegeta expresses his desire to hug Trunks, whom he hasn't embraced since he was a baby. Trunks is hesitant, but Vegeta hugs him anyway before knocking him unconscious with a blow to the back of the neck. Vegeta then punches Goten in the stomach, rendering him unconscious as well. Piccolo arrives and carries the boys away as Buu awakens, puzzled about who attacked him. Vegeta asks Piccolo to take the boys far away, and then reveals his intention to sacrifice himself in battle, wondering what will happen to him when he dies. When Piccolo explains that Vegeta's soul will be sent to a different world than Goku's, and his memories will be erased after death, Vegeta expresses regret and urges Piccolo to leave quickly. Vegeta stops Buu from pursuing the boys as Piccolo and Krillin fly away, Vegeta then powering up and preparing to self-destruct in order to defeat the monster. Krillin wonders about Vegeta's plan, and Piccolo explains that Vegeta is finally fighting for someone other than himself for the first time, willing to give up his life in the process. Vegeta then bids a final farewell to Bulma, Trunks, and even Kakarot, detonating himself and creating a massive explosion. Piccolo and Krillin feel the impact of the blast despite being far away, mourning the loss of the Saiyan Prince. Meanwhile, Bulma is questioning Vegeta's motives for killing innocent people at the tournament, but Yamcha suggests they focus on using the Dragon Balls to bring back the deceased. Master Roshi notices that Vegeta seemed to be full of evil, and suddenly, the plane experiences turbulence. Roshi points out that a huge explosion occurred in the distance, and Bulma suspects it's related to Vegeta. On the battlefield, only Vegeta's ash figure remains after his final attack, and Piccolo instructs Krillin to take the boys home while he investigates. He tells Krillin to explain what happened to everyone, as he isn't sure about Goku, but is positive that Gohan was killed after hearing Vegeta mention it. At the battlefield, Piccolo realizes that Vegeta's plan was to prevent Majin Buu from regenerating and sees Babidi's remains as he clings on to life. As Piccolo prepares to finish off the wizard, small pieces of Buu start moving and eventually form a larger mass, making the monster whole once again. Piccolo then takes off in fear, and Buu heals Babidi, who wants to make the three responsible for his previous conditions suffer. Piccolo catches up with Krillin and informs him of Buu's reappearance, as Krillin states that Vegeta died for nothing. Piccolo then takes the boys to the lookout, as they're the world's only hope against Buu and Babidi's evil plans. Meanwhile, the Supreme Kai is still alive and hopes that Gohan survived as well. After waking up, Goku realizes that Vegeta took the last senzu and fought Majin Buu alone while he was knocked out. He senses Buu's ki, but not Vegeta's or Gohan's, and wonders what happened. He uses instant transmission and meets with Krillin, Piccolo, Mr. Popo, and Dende at the lookout, later learning that Gohan, Supreme Kai, and even Vegeta have all been killed. Goku explains to his friends that he won't be able to defeat Buu alone, and says that if he was only able to use a fusion technique that he learned from the Metamarines in the afterlife, they'd stand a chance. Mr. Popo suggests Goten and Trunks learning the technique, and Goku agrees to teach it to them before he has to leave. Piccolo warns that it will take a long time for the boys to master the fusion, and many lives will be lost to Majin Buu in the meantime. In the midst of their conversation though, Shenron appears as Bulma and the others summoned him to wish back those that were killed by Vegeta's hands. Goku arrives to try to stop them from wasting any wishes for now, but it was too late as the first wish was used. Dende instructs everyone not to use the remaining 2 wishes, so they'll only need to wait 4 months to use the Dragon Balls again. Goku then contacts Dende to tell Krillin to bring everyone to the lookout, and Yamcha asks Goku what's going on, while Babidi and Buu continue to fly, and Kibito is shocked to find himself alive again. Kibito tries to understand what's happening, but he senses that the Supreme Kai is alive and rushes to his aid. The Kai is barely hanging on, but Kibito heals him just in time. They both feel the immense energy of Majin Buu and fear for the safety of the universe, but Supreme Kai sees a glimmer of hope in Gohan's power, believing that he can surpass Buu with his hidden potential. They then come across Gohan's location and see he's in critical condition and just barely alive. Supreme Kai instructs Kibito to teleport the 3 of them to their sacred realm, and although he's hesitant at first, Kibito does the Kai's bidding. Meanwhile, at Kami's lookout, everyone is gathered. Bulma's parents decided to stay home, and Tien and Chaozu were nowhere to be found. Bulma and Chi-Chi then inquire about the location of Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Vegeta. Goku informs them that Goten and Trunks are safe, but Gohan and Vegeta had been killed by Majin Buu. This news causes Chi-Chi to faint and Bulma to cry out in sadness. Suddenly, Babidi interrupts everyone's thoughts and addresses the people of Earth, threatening to destroy an entire city if Piccolo, Trunks, and Goten do not surrender to him. Buu demonstrates his strength by turning a city's population into candy and devours them, prompting fear and panic worldwide as the Z-Fighters remain powerless. To demonstrate more of Buu's devastating abilities, Babidi has him destroy the now deserted city with a single breath. He threatens to turn anyone who knows the whereabouts of Piccolo, Trunks, and Goten into candy and eat them if they don't speak up. Babidi gives everyone 5 days to find them before he destroys the Earth, and a Budokai attendant contacts him to reveal the names of the participants. Babidi demands their addresses and kills the attendant when he can't provide them, scaring the man next to him. Piccolo suggests going to stop Buu himself, but Goku explains that they need to teach the boys fusion to defeat Buu, and that they can restore Earth with the Dragon Balls later. Meanwhile, in the sacred world of the Kais, Gohan is restored by Kibito and thinks he must be dead. However, he's told that he was saved and might have a chance at victory. The Supreme Kai instructs Gohan to use the Z sword to defeat Majin Buu, and after some hesitation on Kibito's end, the 3 head toward the sword's location. Meanwhile on Earth, Goku informs Goten and Trunks about the loss of Gohan and Vegeta. The boys cry, and Goku yells at them to stop and focus their efforts to learn a new technique to avenge them. Goku then tells them that they'll be using the hyperbolic time chamber to begin their training. Meanwhile, Gohan asks Kibito what will happen if he removes the Z sword, and Kibito responds that he should gain an enormous amount of power, possibly enough to defeat Majin Buu. Gohan is amazed, but Kibito assures him that he won't be able to remove the sword. Despite struggling, Gohan manages to remove the sword while transforming into a Super Saiyan, shocking Kibito and pleasing the Supreme Kai. Kibito continues to doubt Gohan's ability to wield the sword correctly though, and after Gohan hands the sword to him to try it for himself, he drops it, revealing its true weight and power. Kibito, however, tries to downplay it, then claiming Gohan needs to be the one to train hard and master the blade. Back on Earth, Goku explains the fusion technique, stating if performed correctly, Goten and Trunks will be able to stay fused for 30 minutes, but after unfusing, won't be able to do it again for a while. Trunks and Goten are initially hesitant to learn from Goku due to his perceived weakness after the loss of Gohan and Vegeta, but suddenly, Majin Buu destroys another city. Babidi threatens to keep killing if Trunks, Goten, and Piccolo don't show themselves. Trunks and Goten, however, call out to Buu, telling him that they'll defeat him once they're ready to fight. Goku sees this anger as an opportunity for the boys to train, and Trunks and Goten finally agree to learn the fusion technique. Goku urges Trunks and Goten to quickly transform into Super Saiyans, telling them to raise their ki ki as high as possible. Trunks decides to try and surprise Goku by further powering up his ki, but Goku isn't impressed and informs them they must have equal levels to perform fusion. Goku suggests trying to raise their ki levels to the max in their base form before attempting fusion as Super Saiyans, and meanwhile, Babidi and Buu plan to destroy West City, where Trunks' grandparents live. Goku reassures Bulma that they can use the Dragon Balls to revive the dead and restore the destroyed city. Bulma interjects though, stating that the Dragon Radar, which is needed to find the Dragon Balls and summon Shenron, will be destroyed if the laboratory is blown up, and that they'll never be able to find the Dragon Balls again. Now knowing this, Goku then decides to hold off Babidi and Buu while Trunks goes to retrieve the radar. When Goku confronts Babidi and Buu, he tells them to stop their pointless destruction and tormenting of the weak, and just to wait for 3 warriors who are undergoing special training to defeat them. The two of course refuse to wait, so Goku decides to stall them for a while and transforms into a Super Saiyan 2 until Trunks grabs the radar. Piccolo attempts to comprehend Goku's power in Super Saiyan 2, while Babidi considers it nothing special. Goku notices in the distance that Trunks has stopped moving though, and yells at him to hurry up and find the radar. Babidi is unsure of who Goku is addressing, but believes he must have some sort of pointless plan. Goku, however, continues to stall for time and returns to his normal state, causing Buu to believe he's given up. The Saiyan then states that he intends to explain Super Saiyan to them so that everyone understands, and Babidi believes the transformations to be pointless. Goku proceeds to demonstrate Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, and reveals he has one more ascension in mind. Goku's friends at the lookout thinks he's bluffing, but the Saiyan powers up to the max, surpassing the form of an ascended Super Saiyan and revealing his ultimate form, the legendary Super Saiyan 3. Everyone is astonished, including Gohan in the realm of the Kais, who pauses his Z-Sword training to sense his father's ki on Earth. The Supreme Kai and Kibito can't believe Goku's power has reached their location, while Tien Shinhan, who's in the mountains with Chaozu, feels the earth shake and wonders what's going on. Now powered up, Goku charges in, punches Buu several times, and sends him flying, crashing into the ocean. Buu retaliates with blasts, but Goku deflects them and evades the attacks. Meanwhile, King Kai watches from his world as well, urging Goku to stop using his extraordinary power, as it's only decreasing his time on Earth and jeopardizing his chances to finish teaching the fusion technique to Goten and Trunks. Goku charges toward Buu and strikes him hard in the face, but Buu responds with a powerful punch of his own, sending Goku flying. Goku quickly regains his balance, turns around, and shoots a massive Kamehameha at Buu's stomach. Despite being hit, Buu heals himself instantly and retaliates with his own Kamehameha. Goku manages to deflect Buu's attack, but Buu redirects it toward Babidi, narrowly missing him. The resulting explosion destroys an island and is felt even at Kami's lookout. Babidi scolds Buu for his recklessness and criticizes Goku for destroying a portion of the Earth, along with 1/10 of its population. Goku compliments Buu for his ability to quickly learn his opponent's techniques, and Buu laughs as his nose grows like Pinocchio's. Goku then senses Trunks speeding up and leaving West City with the Dragon Radar, so he reverts to his normal state, and Buu questions why he stopped fighting. Goku says he's had enough fun and has to leave, but Babidi threatens him. He asks for a 2-day grace period, promising to return with the 3 other strong warriors they were looking for. Buu is curious about the upcoming fight, but Babidi says they'll continue to kill as they please. Goku predicts that Buu will enjoy fighting his allies and threatens to punish Babidi in the afterlife. Goku then teleports away, and Babidi orders Buu to find him, insulting him repeatedly in anger. However, having enough, Buu decides to stay behind and strangles Babidi. In one swift move, Buu then punches Babidi, causing his head to explode. He throws his former master's body to the side and destroys it with a ki blast, dancing with joy while Goku returns to the lookout and informs Piccolo of Babidi's death. Piccolo believes Buu may become less violent without anyone giving him orders. However, Buu suddenly unleashes a powerful blast that destroys part of a city and wreaks havoc. Piccolo and Goku discuss how they underestimated Buu and how they should teach the younger generation the technique of fusion before he has to return to the afterlife. Goku then states that he only has an hour left on Earth, as Super Saiyan 3's energy consumption exhausted him completely, running down his time limit. Fortune teller Baba then suddenly arrives in the midst of their conversation and tells Goku that he actually only has 30 minutes left, surprising the Saiyan. Piccolo then asks why Goku didn't go all out with Super Saiyan 3 and try to kill Buu when he had the chance. Goku tells Piccolo that he probably could have tried, but with him being dead, the generation on Earth should try fighting their own battles rather than relying on him. Piccolo understands his reasoning, and meanwhile, Meanwhile, Gohan trains with the Z-Sword while Trunks returns with the Dragon Radar. Goku then gathers the two young warriors for training, as they're now eager to learn under him after witnessing the power of Super Saiyan 3. Goku first begins by explaining the hard part of the fusion technique, as once both Goten and Trunks have adjusted their ki to each other, they also have to perform a pose identical to one another for it to be perfect. To demonstrate, Goku teaches them the pose, but Trunks finds it lame. Goku explains the importance of left and right symmetry and mirror reflection movement, but the two half Saiyans get confused. To further clarify how the technique is supposed to look, Goku tells Piccolo to do it with him, and they demonstrate once again. Meanwhile, Buu lands in a village after getting sleepy and turns all of its residents into clay to build a house for himself. He rests for about 5 seconds and then wakes up to resume his killing spree. Back at the lookout, Goku's time is up on Earth. He tells Piccolo to take over and ensure the boys have mastered fusion by the next day, to which the Namekian agrees. Everyone says their goodbyes, and Goku promises to give his regards to Gohan in the afterlife, although Videl states that she doesn't think he's dead. Goku then notices that his son Goten wants a hug from his dad before he departs, and Goku gives him one before he heads off with Baba, bidding his friends and family a farewell for good. Baba takes Goku to the afterlife, where he immediately seeks out King Yema to inquire about his son Gohan. Goku informs Yema that everyone on Earth will soon be arriving at the check-in station due to Buu's rampage, and wants to know if Gohan had come before them. Yema confirms that he hadn't seen Gohan, but he does mention that he's seen Deborah, the king of the demon realm. Yema says that he probably would have liked to go to hell, so he sent him to heaven instead. Goku is relieved that his son isn't dead, but becomes curious about his whereabouts. Suddenly, he feels Gohan's energy far away and uses instant transmission to get to the sacred world of the Kais, where he finds Gohan training with the Z-Sword. After explaining the situation on Earth to Gohan and the Supreme Kai, Goku requests to stay and asks for some food. Meanwhile on Earth, Piccolo wakes up the boys and tells them they need to master fusion within a day. Buu continues to destroy cities, but in his travels, he meets a blind boy and restores his sight so he can get scared and run away like all his other victims. The boy, however, is elated and thanks Buu, then sharing a heartwarming moment with him before he leaves to kill more people. Meanwhile, Gohan is easily handling the Z-Sword, and Goku compliments how well he's able to wield it after only one day. Goku bets the sword can cut really well too and wants to test it, then picking up a big boulder and prepares to throw it at Gohan. Supreme Kai cuts in though, stating he wants to test the Z-Sword's true strength with something harder. He creates a cube of Kachin steel, the hardest metal in the universe, and gives it to Goku. Goku throws the block at Gohan, who swings the Z-Sword at it, but the sword shatters upon contact. Supreme Kai and Kibito are shocked to see that the legendary blade has been broken, but Gohan assumes he's already gotten a lot stronger, given he'd been training with such a heavy weapon. Suddenly, an old man reveals himself behind Supreme Kai and Kibito, stating that he's a Supreme Kai from 15 generations ago. The old Kai explains that he was sealed away in the sword long ago by a strong and evil person because of his power. Intrigued at how strong he truly is, Goku tests the old Kai by shooting a blast at him, which hits him in the face, much to his displeasure. After having been convinced by Goku to reveal his special power with the promise of feeling up an attractive woman, the old Kai reveals his super ability to bring out a person's hidden power beyond their limits, which he believes he can make Gohan, the one who removed the Z-Sword, the strongest in the universe. He then performs a ritual to awaken Gohan's power, which will take 5 hours for the ritual and 20 hours for the power-up, much to everyone's surprise. Goku goes over to take a nap, leaving Gohan to sit around for the next 25 hours, and meanwhile, Trunks and Goten continue practicing their fusion technique, which Piccolo believes they have nearly perfected. Yamcha informs the group that the boys are going to attempt the fusion technique outside, as they may be too powerful and cause damage inside the lookout. Piccolo instructs the boys to match their ki and begin the fusion technique, and after a big flash on the first attempt, a large, pudgy kid appears, shocking everyone. Bulma hopes they can return to normal, while Krillin doubts this is the warrior that Goku mentioned. Piccolo scolds the kid for having his fingers out instead of a fist during part of the pose, which caused the fusion to fail. The fusion ends after 30 minutes, and they attempt it again, resulting in a very frail kid this time. Piccolo scolds him about the finger placement, and they wait another 30 minutes. The third attempt creates a normal-looking warrior with an impressive wave of ki, and Gotenks, the fused warrior, is born. Piccolo suggests the boys continue practicing, but Gotenks believes he can defeat defeat Majin Buu at his current power level. Piccolo, however, calls him a fool, but Gotenks flies off to fight Buu, returning shortly after, beaten to a pulp. Piccolo demands that the boys train more before facing Buu again, and meanwhile, the old Kai continues to dance around Gohan, who looks miserable. In a single day on Earth, Majin Buu wiped out over 80% of the population, finding it amusing to watch them resist or flee. The Earth's army even tried to fight back, but were unsuccessful, and the remaining people cling to hope that the savior had survived and is preparing to face Majin Buu. This savior is revealed to be Hercule, the strongest warrior in the world. The royal army flies him to a safe distance from Buu's house, where he plans to use his secret weapons to defeat him. Hercule calls out Buu's name, but gets no response until Buu suddenly appears on the roof of his home. In fear of his life, Hercule offers him presents of gourmet chocolate and a Game Boy, but his attempts to poison and destroy Buu fail. Buu decides to spare Hercule as his presents were fun and turns him into his servant, offering him human candy balls, which Hercule tries and then spits out. Hercule then convinces the monster to take a photograph with Buu lying on the ground as proof to the world that he defeated him. Hercule then serves him food before washing his back in the bathtub, secretly thinking of a way to kill him. Back at the realm of the Kais, the dance ritual has ended, and old Kai faces Gohan with his hands outstretched. However, Gohan opens his eyes and sees that he's dozing off. He yells at him to wake up, but the old man insists he's awake and tells him to be quiet before falling asleep again. Gohan then thinking to himself that this may be a lost cause. Meanwhile on Earth, Piccolo suggests the boys try fusion as Super Saiyans, warning them not to become overconfident like last time. The boys agree and turn Super Saiyan before successfully fusing into Gotenks. Piccolo is impressed by their strength, but questions their agility. Gotenks tells Piccolo that he'll demonstrate to avoid damaging the lookout and flies off, Piccolo following reluctantly behind him. After traveling around the world, Gotenks lands and waits for Piccolo to catch up. He then foolishly becomes overconfident again and decides to test his power against Majin Buu. Piccolo tries to stop him, but Gotenks flies off, the Namekian stating that they only have one more minute left to be fused. Gotenks arrives at Buu's house to challenge him, but he soon reverts back to Trunks and Goten before running away. Buu comes outside, confused on what just happened, but Hercule tells him that it was nothing important, as no one would dare speak to Buu in such a way. Back inside, Hercule reads a book to Buu, who finds it amusing. After finishing it, Buu decides to resume killing, offering for Hercule to come along, but he declines and offers to cook instead. After Buu departs, Hercule insults and threatens him behind his back before pulling out some powerful dynamite from his bag. He intends to use it to save the world by blowing up Buu and hides the dynamite in a pot, hoping the monster returns soon. Meanwhile, a man and his grandma are walking and trying to hide from Buu when suddenly the woman is shot in the head. The shooter is revealed to be a random earthling and his subordinate, who says they'll all be killed by Buu anyway, so they might as well have some fun and kill others. The sniper then orders his subordinate to shoot the old man, and the two then drive off to the city to find more people to kill. Back at Buu's house, Hercule is shocked to see Buu return so soon and is cooking when the monster returns with a puppy. The puppy has a hurt leg and he can't run away, so Buu decides to heal him. Instead of being afraid though, the dog takes a liking to the one who healed him. Hercule explains that the puppy is happy to have been helped, and Buu plays with him as he happily follows. Hercule offers to get the dog some food and drives away, then planning to detonate the bomb he placed in Buu's house earlier. However, as Hercule sees how happy Buu looks with his new friend, he decides to hold off on the explosion. Meanwhile, the random humans speed through towns, murdering everyone in their path. Back at the house, Hercule asks Buu why he kills, and he reveals that he was taught to do so by Babidi and Babidi, his creators. The champ tells Buu that he doesn't have to kill and destroy because it's fun, and Buu promises not to do it anymore, much to Hercule's pleasure. The sniper and his cohort then head toward Buu's house while Buu and the puppy play. He then arrives and shoots the puppy, as Hercule and Buu are left speechless. The sniper's cohort is confused as to why Hercule is with Majin Buu, but the sniper says it's irrelevant since they'll kill him and become the new heroes anyway. Hercule sees them on a cliff and the sniper shoots a rocket at the house, but Hercule manages to escape while they celebrate their triumph. When the smoke clears, Buu is unharmed and furious. The sniper gets ready to shoot again, but Hercule cuts in, takes out his cohort, and furiously beats up the sniper. Buu is calmed down by the end of the beating, and Hercule sees that the puppy is still alive as Buu heals him again. Dende and Piccolo are watching from above, and Piccolo is concerned about the situation. In the midst of Hercule and Buu's celebration though, the sniper shoots Hercule with a handgun and runs away. Buu is enraged more than ever before, but heals Hercule and tells him to flee with the puppy or they'll die. Hercule is confused, but Buu insists, so he runs away. Buu releases a massive cloud of steam that begins to take shape, causing concern for him, Hercule, Piccolo, and Dende, who watch from the lookout. Everyone, including the sniper, observes as the cloud changes into a thin Majin Buu. Apparently, the incredible anger that Buu felt caused an evil within him to manifest into another version of him, now introduced as Evil Buu. The Evil Buu immediately flies toward the sniper, who shoots at him with a handgun. However, Buu merely holds out his hand and fires a blast, obliterating the sniper and creating a large crater. While Hercule watches in horror, the Evil Buu runs over to the Good Buu and the two exchange blows. The Evil Buu kicks the Good Buu across the ground and continues to attack him. The original Buu proved to be no match, as when they separated, most of the power went to the evil one. The Good Buu attempts to transform the bad one into chocolate, but the Evil Buu deflects the beam, turning the Good Buu into chocolate instead. The Evil Buu grabs the chocolate, eats it, and releases steam from his body, transforming into a muscular and lean Majin Buu. Suddenly, Buu then starts screaming, sending Hercule flying and causing the ground to crack, as Piccolo can hardly believe what he's witnessing. Krillin asks what's wrong, and Piccolo explains that Buu's energy has undergone a complete transformation due to some foolish Earthlings. He goes on to further explain that he's become pure evil and his body is now much more suited for combat. Although Krillin suggests they still have the young fighters and the fusion technique to rely on, Piccolo remains doubtful. Meanwhile, even Goku in the realm of the Kais notices the change in Buu's energy. Gohan worries they won't be able to stop him in time, but Old Kai reassures him and continues reading his book. The sniper's partner, who's still alive, climbs up on a cliff and tries to shoot Buu with the machine gun, but the bullets have no effect. Buu wickedly laughs and enters the man's mouth, causing him to explode from the inside. Buu then approaches Hercule and his puppy, but stops himself upon seeing them. The champ assumes the monster is scared, but then realizes Buu is floating above him. It seems a part of Buu still cares for Hercule as he utters his name before flying away. Buu continues to laugh maniacally and creates a powerful shockwave as he flies away, suddenly changing direction as he flies straight up and appears before everyone at the lookout. Apparently, he has the ability to sense ki now, much to the detriment of the Z fighters. Buu suddenly shouts out the word bring, startling everyone at the lookout. Piccolo wonders what Buu wants him to bring, and the monster explains he wants to fight the ones who were promised to battle him by Goku. Piccolo confirms that the fighters are present, but sleeping to prepare. Buu orders Piccolo to wake them up, but the Namekian advises him to wait for them just a little bit longer. Impatient though, Buu declines, saying that he hates waiting. Desperate to buy some more time, Piccolo tells Buu that he can kill everyone on Earth for his amusement in the meantime. Buu then smiles and proceeds to walk around the edge of the lookout. He raises his arm and begins an extinction attack on the Earth, which shoots thousands of beams from the lookout and kills everyone below. Having finished his work, Buu demands Piccolo to bring out his opponent to fight. Piccolo agrees, but requires time to prepare since the fighter is sleeping. He suggests 1 hour, to which Buu questions the duration. Piccolo creates an hourglass and shows the monster how long it will take, and he initially grows impatient, but Piccolo informs him that Videl, Hercule's child, wants him to wait as well. Buu looks at her and finally agrees, but threatens to kill everyone if Piccolo fails to bring out his opponent at the end of the hour. Piccolo then tells Krillin to take Trunks and Goten to the hyperbolic time chamber where they can train for 1 hour Earth time, which equals 15 days in there. Meanwhile, Tien Shinhan and Chaozu are seen on Earth alive, having dodged Buu's attack, and Hercule is wandering around. Back in the realm of the Kais, Supreme Kai notices that everyone on Earth has been killed by Majin Buu. Goku is surprised and wonders if the Earth was destroyed, but Supreme Kai clarifies that the Earth is mostly undamaged, but doesn't know exactly what happened. Meanwhile, Gohan's annoyed that the process is taking so long. Old Kai says the ritual isn't done yet, as the Half Saiyan still has a lot of latent power. Having lost his patience though, Gohan stands up and unleashes his new power, surprised so much energy was coming from him. Old Kai tells him to calm down, and Goku's impressed, wondering how much power Gohan really has hidden. At the lookout, Goten and Trunks notice that Buu's changed. Piccolo tells them to enter the hyperbolic time chamber, where 1 minute outside outside is equal to 6 hours of training inside. Shortly after though, Chi-Chi foolishly confronts Buu for killing Gohan and he turns her into an egg, Piccolo then telling an upset Goten to focus on training as she can be brought back with the Dragon Balls. Later in the chamber, Trunks complains about the conditions of the room, but Goten has already begun training to avenge his family. On the outside, Videl asks Piccolo how Buu knows her father, and he explains that Hercule is the only one who befriended Buu. Their conversation is interrupted though, as Buu gets impatient and destroys the hourglass, demanding Piccolo to bring him his challengers immediately, and he begins walking him to the time chamber. Krillin and the others question why Piccolo is leading Buu there, but Dende explains that if needed, Piccolo could destroy the door and trap Buu in that dimension if Goten and Trunks lose. Assuming they die, they can be brought back with the Dragon Balls as well. Meanwhile, Trunks and Goten are tired from training and discuss their plan to go beyond Super Saiyan to defeat Buu. Piccolo telepathically informs them though that Buu is on his way and that they need to be prepared sooner than they thought. About a minute later, Piccolo and Buu arrive at the time chamber where Buu initially rushes into battle, but after being yelled at by Trunks, he waits for the boys to fuse into Gotenks to fight him. Gotenks then rushes in and delivers a kick and a few punches to Buu's face, but they have no effect. Piccolo then thinking that the Earth is doomed. Gotenks claims he hasn't gotten serious yet, but intends to display his true abilities on Buu. He rushes toward the monster and unleashes several generic attacks with ridiculous names. This annoys Buu, who slaps Gotenks and sends him flying, as Piccolo is embarrassed by the scene. Buu claims that Gotenks is weak, and he's no longer interested in playing around. Gotenks mutters that Buu doesn't understand the situation and will regret making him angry. He transforms into a Super Saiyan, which surprises Piccolo. Gotenks then decides he'll finish the battle, but wonders which technique to use. He settles on the Galactic Donut attack, which forms a ring of ki around Buu. Buu, however, easily breaks free and attacks Gotenks. They collide in mid-air, and Buu is hurt for the first time. Gotenks then uses his ultimate technique, the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, as he spits out a ghost that looks identical to him, much to everyone's surprise. The ghost then flies towards Buu, as Buu smacks it to stop the attack, but upon impact, the ghost explodes, causing Buu to be severely injured. Gotenks gets confident and creates an additional 10 ghosts to finish off Buu, commanding them like soldiers to fall in line for the next move. Meanwhile, Buu recovers and sips on a green drink while reading a book about cars, and Gotenks sends 2 of his ghosts after him. Buu avoids the attacks and makes fun of Gotenks, so the fused hero conjures up a plan of attack. Gotenks sends the ghost to attack Buu again, but 2 ghosts blow themselves up by accident. The remaining 5 then distract Buu and detonate on him, leaving the remaining 1 to go in Buu's mouth and blow him to bits. As the monster is blown away, Gotenks strikes a victory pose, assured that the battle is over. Meanwhile, in the realm of the Kais, Goku and Supreme Kai notice that Majin Buu's ki has disappeared, along with Goten and Trunks. Old Kai explains that they've been fighting in the hyperbolic time chamber and that the Namekian led Majin Buu in there for some reason. Back in the chamber, despite thinking they've defeated Buu by burning up his flesh, the monster reforms and begins to collect above them. Piccolo wonders if Gotenks has another attack up his sleeve, but rather than filling him in on his master plan, the fused warrior makes Piccolo sweat, faking as if he's all out of power and options. Suddenly, Buu grabs Gotenks and swings him around with his antenna, then punching him away and knocking his tooth out. Just as Gotenks prepares to show off his hidden technique though, Piccolo destroys the entrance to the hyperbolic time chamber, stating that the 3 of them are now trapped in the room for eternity. Gotenks scolds the Namekian and tells him he was just joking about being out of options, to which Piccolo gets upset. Meanwhile, shocked about seemingly being trapped forever, Buu screams to the top of his lungs and creates a hole in the time chamber dimension, revealing the lookout. Buu, who's just as surprised as everyone else, gazes at the hole while Piccolo realizes that he was able to break a dimensional wall just with the power of his ki. The hole starts to shrink though, and Buu quickly squeezes himself through the tiny opening before it disappears, leaving Piccolo and Gotenks trapped. Meanwhile, Goku senses that Majin Buu has left the hyperbolic time chamber, but Gotenks and Piccolo are still inside. Old Kai creates a crystal ball and throws it to Goku so he can observe the events. In the crystal ball, Goku sees that Buu has returned and turned everyone into chocolate. Gohan is confused on what's going on, but Goku tells him to concentrate on unleashing his potential. Goku remembers that Earth still has the Dragon Balls though, so somehow things should work out. In the hyperbolic time chamber, Piccolo and Gotenks keep screaming, but nothing seems to work. Having been left with no other options, Gotenks decides to use his secret technique and transform into a Super Saiyan 3, surprising Piccolo. Gotenks then screams again and creates his own dimensional hole, and he and Piccolo jump through and find Buu waiting for them. Gotenks tells Buu that he's stronger now, and Piccolo notices that the lookout is damaged. Buu reveals that he ate everyone moments ago, which angers Gotenks. The Saiyan slams his head into Buu and propels him through the main structure of the lookout and into midair, which takes Buu by surprise. He manages to dodge a punch from Gotenks, and his fist is caught and used to throw him to the temple floor, causing significant damage to it. Buu then becomes enraged, and Piccolo is saddened by the destruction. Buu curls into a ball and flies toward them repeatedly, destroying the rest of the lookout in the process until only the floor beneath them remains. Gotenks attempts to counter, but Buu breaks the floor, causing Piccolo to urge Gotenks to attack without posing. Gotenks complies and uses his rapid-fire super donut attack to trap Buu in a ball of donuts. Piccolo thinks Buu has been sealed, but Gotenks warns that he'll break free soon. Gotenks then calls for Piccolo's help in performing the Clash Ultra Boo Boo volleyball move, but Piccolo is hesitant. Despite this, the Namekian agrees and they successfully spike the Buu volleyball down to Earth, creating a large crater upon impact. Knowing that attack alone wouldn't be sufficient enough to kill Buu, Gotenks tells the monster to pick himself up and urges him to hurry as his power won't last long and it'll take him an hour to regain it. Piccolo shows up and Gotenks begins to doubt Buu's strength, thinking he may have overestimated it and killed him, but suddenly a massive blast emerges from the crater, almost hitting both Gotenks and Piccolo. The Namekian expresses concern, stating that the energy in the blast was powerful enough to instantly destroy the Earth. Gotenks becomes furious and decides to use rapid-fire die-die missiles on the crater, not caring about destroying the Earth since everyone's already dead. However, Piccolo warns Gotenks that he might accidentally destroy a Dragon Ball, which would prevent them from wishing anyone back. When Buu emerges from the rubble, Gotenks believes that he must be weakened, but Piccolo notes that he's only weakened spiritually and that he's never fought someone as powerful as Gotenks before. Buu headbutts Gotenks and chases him, leading to a fierce battle between the two. As they exchange blows, Goku thinks that Gohan may not even get a chance to fight. As Gotenks lands near a battle-damaged Buu, he declares that he'll finish him off and annihilate him completely, but his Super Saiyan 3 form wears off, causing him to return to his normal state. As Gotenks stands speechless, Buu starts to recover from his injuries. Piccolo believes that it's the end of the battle, and meanwhile in the realm of the Kais, Goku urges Old Kai to hurry up since the fusion is worn off. Old Kai reveals that he's been ready to go for the last 5 minutes, prompting Gohan to ask why he didn't say something sooner. Gohan realizes he needs to act fast and asks for guidance on how to become the warrior of ultimate strength. Old Kai tells him that it's similar to transforming into a Super Saiyan and focusing his ki. Gohan then unleashes his power, almost blowing everyone away. Despite not being in his Super Saiyan form, Gohan's power has impressed Goku. Supreme Kai urges them to hurry to Earth, but Kibito offers to take Gohan alone since the others will just get in the way. Goku feels bad for not being there for his son, but hugs Gohan and wishes him luck before Kibito teleports him away. On Earth, Gohan asks Kibito for a change of clothes to match his father's gi. Kibito easily fulfills this request, and Gohan sets off to face Buu alone. Trunks and Goten are now separated and scared for their lives. Piccolo offers to fight and die with them, as they know his help won't make much of a difference. Suddenly though, Buu sits down and falls asleep, confusing Piccolo and the boys. They soon sense a powerful energy heading their way, and wonder who or what it is. Piccolo initially thinks it might be a new enemy until it gets closer, and he shouts that it's Goku. However, Goten corrects him, revealing it to be his brother Gohan. Gohan lands in front of the group and greets them, explaining that the Supreme Kai saved him and has been caring for him until now. Piccolo notes that Gohan looks different, as his facial features and ki has changed. Gohan then learns from Trunks and Goten that Majin Buu has killed everyone, including his mother and Dende. Noticing a faint ki in the distance though, Gohan smirks and decides to confront Buu, telling him that he intends to kill him. Buu laughs and recalls beating up Gohan in the past, and even Piccolo doesn't believe Gohan can win. The boys then prepare to try to use fusion again to help him out, although it's too early to attempt it anyway. However, Gohan suddenly powers up and attacks Buu relentlessly, stunning Piccolo, Trunks, and Goten. Buu is shocked, and Gohan confidently says that he can't win. Buu realizes that Gohan's the one who possesses the immense power that he felt far away, and says that he can't allow anyone to be more powerful than him. The monster says that he'll eliminate Gohan, but the half Saiyan calmly says that that's impossible. Buu then grins and begins to power up, prompting Gohan to realize his intentions and escape with Piccolo and the boys as Buu self-destructs. They land on a cliff that overlooks the explosion, and Gohan notes that Buu didn't die and is currently hiding his ki. Gotenks suggests that Buu might be planning a surprise attack, but Gohan speculates that something else is at play. Trunks assures the group that Gohan can defeat Buu, even if he is alive. Gotenks acknowledges that Gohan is stronger than their super Gotenks, and Trunks admits that it may be true. Gohan explains to the group that he gained his strength from the Elder Kai, then inquiring about the Dragon Radar which Piccolo has. Piccolo informs them that Dende is dead, but Gohan detects a faint ki that belongs to him. The group set out to locate Dende, and on the way, spot a tired Hercule and rescue him. Piccolo carries him while Goten takes care of his dog. Piccolo wonders why Buu didn't eliminate Dende, and Gohan reminds him that they left the hyperbolic time chamber only a few moments after Buu did. They soon find Dende, who tells them that Mr. Popo saved him when Buu returned. Hercule is curious about the green-skinned child, but Trunks informs him that he's the ruler of the Earth. Time passes, and Hercule learns of Videl's demise, but Goten assures him that they can bring her back to life. Suddenly, the group senses Buu approaching, and Gohan is curious to see what's changed in the last hour that he's been gone. Buu lands and grins while Gohan notices that nothing's changed. Trunks believes that Buu will just run away, but the monster shouts that he wants to fight Goten and Trunks once again. Gohan refuses though, claiming that he's Buu's opponent. However, Buu insists on settling the score with the boys first. Gohan wonders why, but Buu ignores him and accuses the boys of being scared. Trunks and Goten deny it, and Piccolo senses that something strange is happening. Trunks tells Piccolo that Buu is too stupid to have a plan, and they fuse quickly as Gotenks appears in his Super Saiyan 3 form. Buu then splits a part of his back into two blobs, which go unnoticed by the others. As Gotenks prepares to fight, one blob engulfs him while the other takes Piccolo. Buu quickly brings the blobs back to him and absorbs them, causing him to transform. Goku from the Kai realm urges Gohan to kill Buu, but the transformation is complete before Gohan can act. Buu then looks down at Gohan with a wicked grin, now sporting an elongated antenna and Gotenks' vest. Buu explains that he planned to absorb Gotenks all along to become the strongest, but his power had a time limit, so he waited for an hour for the next chance. Gohan remarks that Buu's intelligence hasn't improved though, as it would have been smarter to absorb him instead. Buu argues that being the strongest will be pointless without anyone to fight, then stating that his greatest motivation is to fulfill his previous Majin Buu's promise of killing Gohan. Buu aims to end the fight quickly due to Super Gotenks' time constraint. Gohan then stating that that's smart thinking, and that must be the Piccolo in him. Gohan tries to attack Buu with a kick, but Buu catches both legs, leaving Gohan helpless. The Half Saiyan shoots a ki blast, but Buu avoids it and grabs Gohan's neck with his antenna. Buu then punches Gohan into the distance and fires a powerful ki blast at him, but Gohan manages to dodge it. Buu taunts Gohan, who attacks again but gets smacked into the air and trapped by Gotenks' rapid fire Super Donut move. Goku fears for Gohan's life and is urged by Old Kai to help, but Goku is unable to return to the world of the living. Old Kai then offers to sacrifice himself so that Goku can return and save Gohan. Back on Earth, Buu prepares to use the Kamehameha to finish off a trapped Gohan, but the Half Saiyan breaks free and barely manages to avoid the attack. Meanwhile, in the afterlife, King Yama sends a soul back to Earth to assist in the battle with Buu, and Vegeta is chosen, smiling at the chance to face off against the monster once again. In the realm of the Kais, the old Kai dies and gives Goku his life, but immediately resurrects with a halo and urges the Saiyan to hurry and save Gohan. Buu continues to mock Gohan's persistence to survive their battle. Gohan rushes in once more, but Buu evades it easily and elbows him, causing him to fall to the ground. Gohan retaliates by shooting a blast at Buu, but the monster redirects it back toward him. The blast goes through the ground and flies out into space on the other side of the planet. Buu flies after Gohan, estimating that he only has 10 minutes left for the fusion and wants to make them enjoyable. As Gohan's beaten senseless, Dende advises Hercule to take the dog and leave, but he refuses, then pulling out his 4.5 caliber gun and aims at Buu. In the realm of the Kais, Goku plans to teleport away, but the old Kai stops him and asks how he intends to defeat Buu. Goku gets an idea to fuse with Gohan using the dance he taught Goten and Trunks, but old Kai is skeptical, stating that Buu wouldn't give them enough time to prepare. He then removes the earrings that he's wearing and instructs Goku to put one on his left ear while Gohan puts the other on his right, and the two will begin to fuse. Old Kai claims that the Potara earrings are a superior method of fusion and an ancient treasure of the Kais. To demonstrate, he instructs Supreme Kai and Kibito to remove the earrings on their opposing ears, and the two fly toward one another as we cut back to Gohan, who suddenly crashes out of the ground and is badly injured. Dende rushes to heal him, just as Buu emerges from the ground as well, confused on how Gohan was able to get back to full strength. He however mocks him as he's still weaker, and attacks Gohan with a key shockwave and attempts to kill Dende at the same time, assuming he's the reason for Gohan's recovery. Hercule fires his gun at the blast and it disappears, not at the hands of the champ though, but Tien Shinhan, who'd arrived and used the Tri-Beam to deflect it. In the meantime, Supreme Kai and Kibito have fused, creating a taller Kai with long straight hair. The warrior now known as Kibito Kai is thrilled with his new power, but Old Kai quickly deflates his ego. Goku wonders how long the Potara fusion lasts, and Old Kai reveals that it lasts forever, much to Kibito Kai's surprise. Goku is shocked as well, realizing that he won't be able to separate from his son. Old Kai then urges Goku to hurry and save Gohan before it's too late, and Goku prepares to head to Earth. Right before leaving though, he wonders if they should transform into Super Saiyan before fusing. However, Old Kai advises against it, as it could have adverse effects on their body and lifespan. Kibito Kai interrupts them though, stating that Buu is about to finish off Gohan, and Goku leaves, then appearing on Earth to cut Buu in half with a Destructo Disc to prevent him from destroying the Earth. Gohan wonders how his dad returned from the afterlife, and Buu recognizes Goku as the warrior with the unusual transformations that he fought before. Goku then informs Buu that he possesses a powerful secret weapon to tip the scales, which confuses him. Buu, however, lifts up his cut-off lower half and kicks Tien across the face, knocking him out. After some trash talk, Goku tosses one of the other Potara to Gohan, but he misses it, much to Goku's shock. Goku instructs him to put it on his right ear to fuse and defeat Buu. However, Buu interrupts them and rushes toward Goku. Gohan searches for the Potara while Goku transforms into Super Saiyan 3, but suddenly, Buu stops mid-air and begins to regress, as the boy's fusion has now run out. Goku assumes that Piccolo is the strongest one inside Buu now, and that Gohan can handle things from here, but Buu reveals that he had a backup plan, then using the spare piece of his body that was cut off to engulf Gohan and absorb him. Now out of time and options, Goku searches for another person to fuse with, but Tien Shinhan is out of commission, and Dende's no fighter. Goku then considers Hercule as his last option. Buu generously gives Goku 5 seconds to choose a fusion partner, but Goku has trouble deciding, as fusing with Hercule would probably do more harm than good. As Goku is about to choose Hercule anyway though, he senses Vegeta's ki in the distance. Buu attacks, but Goku teleports away just in time. Goku and Vegeta reunite, surprising both of them and Baba. Buu states that he'll hunt Goku down and flies after him, leaving Hercule and Dende behind. Goku asks Vegeta to put on the Potara earring to fuse and defeat Buu, but Vegeta is hesitant. Buu senses their power, but doubts that they'll be strong enough even if they fuse. Goku urges Vegeta to put on the earrings as Buu gets closer, but Vegeta is angry that Goku held back during their fight and didn't use Super Saiyan 3. Goku explains that the transformation was temporary and apologizes, but reveals that Buu killed everyone and absorbed Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. Vegeta remains skeptical about fusion as Buu prepares to attack, but finally puts on the earring in desperation, but not before Goku warns him that they'll be permanently fused. They then join bodies and create a new warrior, surprising Buu. After fusing, Vegeta and Kakarot become Vegito, who then transforms into Super Vegito, a powerful warrior who easily deflects Buu's ki attack. Buu tries to attack Vegito with a punch, but the warrior counters with a hard kick to the face, breaking Buu's nose. Vegito taunts Buu and continues to pummel him with punches and kicks, then grabbing Buu's leg and slamming him into the ground, leaving him helpless. Kibito Kai and Old Kai comment on the power of the Potara, stating how the fusion of these two rivals has made them stronger than ever before. Vegito then impales Buu with a ki saber and asks him to get serious, but Buu remains defiant. As the two fighters become engulfed in the steam of the monster's anger, they continue to battle, but Vegito emerges victorious, holding Buu's antenna in his hand. He then blows it to bits and vows to erase Buu from existence the same way later, but Old Kai gets upset that the fused warrior isn't taking the fight seriously himself, leaving Buu completely furious. Buu is shocked to see that Vegito's power is so great, and the warrior mocks him, prompting prompting Buu to utilize Gotenks' Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. Vegito recognizes the technique though and easily destroys the ghost, taunting Buu, causing him to become increasingly frustrated. Buu flies at Vegito, angry about their unfair fusion, but Vegito easily dodges and strikes, telling him that he absorbed multiple people, so he's the last person who should be complaining. Meanwhile, Dende and Hercule can hear the battle in the distance. Vegito kicks Buu in the face and taunts him some more, but Buu retaliates by turning him into a candy ball. The monster holds the candy in his hand and prepares to eat, but suddenly punches himself in the face, causing the candy to drop and float. Vegito surprisingly retained his strength as a candy ball and attacks Buu, flying around and through his body repeatedly and cutting off a piece of his antenna. Buu eventually turns the warrior back to normal and out of options, begins to sweat. Vegito then gives Buu until the count of 10 to say his prayers, and suddenly, Buu realizes he can absorb Vegito by using the piece of his antenna that was cut off. He waits carefully and angles the absorption, but Vegito is on to his plan. As Buu goes in for it, Vegeta puts up a barrier to protect himself and is absorbed as Buu sits in satisfaction. Kibito Kai is in disbelief that Vegito was absorbed by Majin Buu, who is now taunting the fighter with laughter. The Kai thinks it's the end, but old Kai observes that Buu hasn't powered up or changed his form as he did before, which is strange. He suspects that Vegito may have had a plan, and Buu stops laughing, wondering himself why he hasn't transformed, but realizes that he's still the strongest and no one can stop him. Buu then tears off his shirt and laughs maniacally, while deep inside him, Vegito appears, annoyed by his laughter and grateful that the barrier worked. Shortly after, he decides to remove it to search for Gohan and the others, but splits back into Goku and Vegeta. Goku is confused on how they could separate when the fusion was supposed to be permanent, but Vegeta is relieved to be himself again and destroys his Potara earring. Goku scolds him and explains that they could have used that to fight against Buu again, then stating that as long as they're separated, Vegeta will have to go back to the afterlife. Vegeta, however, says that's better than spending an eternity united with Goku. Goku suggests they find Gohan and the others, and Vegeta agrees, warning that they need to hurry before Buu destroys the Earth. As they search for their friends, they find Piccolo, Gohan, Trunks, and Goten trapped in pods connected to Buu's innards. Vegeta notices that the boys have lost their fusion as well, but Goku explains that it's because of the 30-minute time limit for the fusion technique. The two begin to free their loved ones, and on the outside, the monster suddenly reverts back to his pre-absorption form. Goku notices that Buu's power has dropped, but insists that they can't compete with his strength and suggests fusion again. Vegeta realizes Goku's referring to the dance Goten and Trunks performed and refuses to do it, then suddenly notices the innocent Buu trapped in another pod nearby. As they observe and suggest cutting him loose, suddenly a voice interrupts them. The two turn around and see that the Buu they're inside has formed within himself, and Vegeta is perplexed by this. Buu doesn't know why they weren't absorbed, but is angry that they disconnected all the others. Vegeta states that they're in a bad situation, while Goku suggests they should have kept the Potara to fuse again outside for an easy victory. Buu is pleased to hear they can't fuse again, and Vegeta criticizes Goku for giving that away. Buu then prepares to fight, so the two turn Super Saiyan. Goku threatens to blast a large hole in Buu's body, but Buu remains unconcerned. Meanwhile, Dende, Hercule, and the puppy approach Buu on the outside, as Dende can sense his energy. Inside, Goku's attack is ineffective. Buu explains that he felt a small sensation in his head, since they're as small as fleas. Goku says they'll have to find another way to defeat him, but Buu claims it's impossible. Vegeta has another idea though, and asks Buu what would happen if he cut the other Buu's pod free, wondering whether Buu would revert to the fat one or the thin one. Buu pleads with Vegeta to stop though, stating that if this Buu were to be removed, he won't be him anymore. Goku is puzzled by what Buu means, while Vegeta is quite intrigued. The monster rushes at Vegeta, but the Saiyan cuts the pod free before Buu can attack. The inner Buu then collapses and oozes away, while the outer Buu screams in agony. Vegeta suggests they should rescue everyone and leave, so they carry the pods and fly through Buu until they come across one of the steam holes in his head. Outside, they all return to their normal size, but everyone else remains unconscious. Buu still hasn't noticed their escape in the midst of his agony, and Dende is impressed with Goku and Vegeta's rescue of the absorbed individuals. Buu starts to grow larger, and Goku points out that his energy is actually increasing now, much to their surprise. Goku is uneasy about Buu's transformation, as is Kibito Kai. The Kai then panics as he realizes Buu is reverting returning back to his original form. Buu's agony stops as he transforms into a small, childlike form, which Goku and Vegeta assume will be easy to defeat, but the Kais are shocked and discuss Buu's history. Kibito Kai explains that this version of Buu was created by the mage Babidi and defeated 4 of the 5 total Supreme Kai. The first 2 to die were the North and West Supreme Kai, but Buu absorbed the other 2 of them and gained a heart, which reduced his power. However, the detachment from the Fat Buu has now pushed him to his current state as the pure incarnation of evil. Kid Buu screams at the top of his lungs, surprising everyone around him, and without hesitation, fires a blast at the planet, devastating enough to destroy it. Vegeta knocks it away just in time, and the Saiyans try to convince Buu not to destroy the Earth, but Buu ignores them and creates a large energy ball. Realizing they can't stop this attack from destroying their home, Goku decides to use instant transmission to teleport everyone away. Having little time to act, he spots Dende, Hercule, and a puppy on the ground and decides to save them instead, in shock that he can only teleport this one time. Kibito Kai, however, appears and takes their hands, teleporting them to the sacred realm of the Kais just as Earth explodes, taking Piccolo, Trunks, Goten, and Gohan along with it. As the group arrive, Goku is devastated that they couldn't save the others, and Vegeta questions why Goku chose to save Dende, Hercule, and the dog over his own children. The old Kai confirms with the group that the Earth is gone, which makes Hercule laugh, thinking the old man is talking nonsense. Dende, however, politely tells Hercule to be quiet and explains the importance of the Kais and the realm. It's all for nothing though, as he brushes it off, still not believing that Dende could possibly be the god of the Earth. Hercule then realizes this must be all a dream and jumps off a cliff to prove it to himself, although he falls immediately and gets hurt. Vegeta is still angry at Goku for saving this idiot instead of their comrades, and further states due to the Earth's destruction, the Dragon Balls won't be able to bring back the dead anymore. However, Dende suggests going to planet Namek to get a new set of Dragon Balls. Goku thinks it's too far away, but the Supreme Kai says he can teleport them there. Old Kai, however, is against the idea, stating that the Dragon Ball shouldn't be used for selfish desires, prompting Goku to offer to take a perverted picture of a woman for him in exchange for permission to use the Dragon Balls. Vegeta catches wind of what Goku is planning as he's talking about Bulma and argues with him, exclaiming that he needs to use his own wife instead of his. Meanwhile, Kibito Kai looks at the crystal ball and points out that Buu is reforming in space. With little time to spare, the Kais give Goku and Vegeta another pair of Potara earrings, but they refuse to use them as they want to fight Buu one-on-one. They believe they must have some time before the final battle, but suddenly, Buu appears in the realm of the Kais, having been able to find everyone after witnessing Kibito Kai use his teleportation technique once. Goku and Vegeta prepare to fight Buu while the others watch via a crystal ball from another planet, and after winning in rock paper scissors to decide who fights first, Goku becomes a Super Saiyan 3 and wakes up a sleeping Buu, who then begins howling and beating on his chest. Vegeta steps back and acknowledges that the final battle for the fate of the universe was about to begin. Kid Buu then attacks Goku, but he counters with a Kamehameha. Buu quickly recovers and Goku hits him away, but Buu slows himself and kicks Goku in the face. As the Saiyan backflips to gain distance, he's met with a blast from Buu that he barely manages to teleport away from. The two then begin to trade blows as Vegeta watches, acknowledging how amazing Goku is in his battle, as he himself didn't stand a chance. Vegeta goes on to state that he now knows why he could never come close to Goku in strength, as he always fought for the sheer pleasure of battle and to kill his enemies, while Goku only fights to better himself each time and overcome his limits. He almost never takes the lives of his opponents and cares for others, which Vegeta now understands, confused but accepting how such a gentle Saiyan could still love to fight. Vegeta then continues to watch the battle as he wishes Goku good luck, saying that he's truly #1. Meanwhile, Goku disintegrates Buu with a powerful Kamehameha, but he regenerates as usual. The Saiyan is frustrated that Buu's physical strength never decreases and that he can always return to his normal state. Vegeta then encouraging Goku to go all out and finish Buu, as he thinks he's holding back for his sake. Goku, however, states that he's actually pushing himself to his limits and needs more time to power up, prompting Vegeta to offer him a minute to gather his strength while he takes on Buu himself. Goku warns Vegeta that if he dies again, he'll vanish from not only the living world, but the afterlife, effectively ceasing to exist. Nevertheless, Vegeta makes up his mind, powering up to Super Saiyan 2 and charges at Buu with a massive ki blast that obliterates the lower half of his body. Vegeta unleashes a series of blasts, causing Goku to believe that he can achieve his 1-minute goal at this pace. Despite the relentless assault though, Buu regenerates behind Vegeta and knocks him down with a forceful blow. Vegeta tries to recover, but Buu continues to pummel him with lightning fast punches and kicks. Vegeta is astonished by the ferocity ferocity of Buu's attacks, surprised that Goku could fight such an adversary on his own. Goku hopes that Vegeta can hold on, but it appears that he might not make it. Goku then states that it's been over a minute, yet he still doesn't have enough power, watching as Buu kicks Vegeta and sends him flying, then grabs him by the neck and begins choking him. Goku is unsure what to do, but suddenly Hercule interrupts Buu by calling him out and boasting about being the world champion. Buu releases Vegeta and turns his attention to Hercule, preparing to attack him. Hercule of course cowers and covers himself, and Buu misses him. Goku is impressed by Hercule's courage, and Buu suddenly stops attacking as he clutches his head in agony, Hercule then assuming that the monster is afraid of him and starts laughing. Buu continues his struggle as Hercule and Goku are confused as to why the monster is behaving so strangely. Vegeta asks Goku if he's finished, but the Saiyan says he's actually getting weaker by the second. Kid Buu then spits out Fat Buu, who's apparently still inside him, much to everyone's shock. Dende realizes that the good Buu inside of Kid Buu was preventing him from attacking Hercule, but now that barrier's been removed. Hercule stands his guard against the evil Buu, but he's punched in the face and rolls around in pain. The champ tries to threaten Buu, but he just laughs and beats his chest like an ape, then rushing at Hercule to finish him off. Suddenly, the good Buu appears and stands between Hercule and evil Buu. The two Buus then launch toward one another, with the evil Buu getting a hard kick to the good one. Fat Buu recovers and headbutts Kid Buu, but he grabs Fat Buu's antenna and slams him around. Fat Buu fires a blast at Kid Buu, blowing off half his torso, but he quickly regenerates. Meanwhile, Goku's power is fading away and he loses his Super Saiyan 3 form, shocking everyone. The evil Buu then blows off the good Buu's head, but he manages to recover. Hercule cheers Fat Buu on, but he says he doubts he can win. Vegeta insults Goku for his inability to gather ki and being able to maintain his Super Saiyan 3 form, which drains the energy of a living body. Disheartened, Goku gives up and the two Buus engage in combat, Kid Buu clearly having the upper hand. Hercule tries to intervene, but is easily swatted away by Kid Buu. Fat Buu manages to break free from the evil Buu's headlock and attacks him, but the evil Buu dodges and strikes him from behind. The good Buu regenerates and they continue fighting, leaving Goku worried about how long they'll be able to keep this up. Vegeta then calls on the Kais and Dende to gather the Dragon Balls on the restored planet Namek, but doesn't explain why. After the trip is made and the balls are gathered, having been done by the Namekians already, Vegeta orders them to make two wishes: restore the Earth and revive everyone who died since the Tenkaichi Budokai, except for the evil ones. Dende realizes that Porunga can only revive one person per wish, but the Namekian leader Mori assures them that Porunga has powered up since Goku's battle with Frieza. Meanwhile, the evil Buu attacks the good Buu and Vegeta notices that the good Buu's power is dropping. Porunga eventually grants the second wish and the people of Earth, including Gohan, Piccolo, and the boys, are revived. Vegeta then reveals his plan to have Goku prepare a spirit bomb to kill Buu, but Goku doubts that gathering energy from all the Earthlings will be sufficient enough to do the job. Vegeta thinks otherwise though, and explains that this will be a lot of energy. Dende informs them that Porunga wants the third wish, but Vegeta isn't interested. He instead wants to speak to all the Earthlings at once, but Kibito Kai says it's impossible. However, Goku recognizes King Kai's voice as he offers to help Vegeta by using his telepathy to speak to Earth's people. Vegeta addresses the Earthlings and asks them to lend their power to defeat Buu, and Goku then raises his hands and asks everyone to lend him as much energy as possible. The others, including Gohan, Trunks, and Goten, follow suit and the energy begins to swell. However, Vegeta realizes that the spirit bomb isn't complete and gets angry when he hears that the Earthlings are hesitant to raise their hands. Goku expresses doubts about their current level of ki and asks if anyone other than their friends has contributed. Vegeta, frustrated by the lack of support, aggressively demands that the people of Earth contribute. However, they still remain skeptical, unwilling to assist. Meanwhile, the evil Buu is attacking the good Buu, and Vegeta realizes they're running out of time. Hercule tries to distract the evil Buu with a rock to prevent him from killing the good Buu, but it only annoys him and directs his attention to Goku and the others. Goku appeals to everyone on Earth to lend their energy to help defeat the evil Buu. Some recognize his voice and raise their hands, while others are still skeptical. Vegeta tries to attack the evil Buu, but is quickly overpowered. As Hercule watches Vegeta's suffering and Goku's pleas to the Earth, he grows frustrated with the Earthlings' skepticism and steps in, demanding them to help the world champion. The Earthlings recognize Hercule's voice, and the champ tells him that he's been battling Majin Buu. Now convinced, the Earthlings raise their hands and send over their energy, chanting Hercule's name throughout the planet in the process. After a few more moments, the power of everyone on Earth is transferred to Goku, and the spirit bomb finishes as Goku prepares to launch it at Buu. Goku tells Vegeta to move out of the way to avoid being caught up in the blast. Suddenly, Suddenly, Buu launches an attack at Goku, causing him to quickly disappear to evade it. When he reappears, he sees that Vegeta is no longer near Buu. Hercule is then seen running away with Vegeta slung over his shoulder. Goku commends Hercule for his efforts, stating that he truly is the savior of the world and launches the spirit bomb, but Buu prepares to counter it with a blast of his own. Despite Goku's efforts, Buu manages to hold off the spirit bomb from smothering him. Goku wishes he had some more strength left to push it further, and Vegeta realizes he doesn't have enough physical strength to fully execute the attack. Dende and the Kais try to work out a strategy, then suggesting using the Dragon Balls to restore Goku's strength. Dende fulfills the wish and Poronga agrees and makes it so, restoring the Saiyan to his full power. Goku then turns Super Saiyan and tells Buu that he's amazing, having come so far with his own strength. Goku states that he hopes he can come back one day as a better person, and with that, he pushes the spirit bomb down and Kid Buu is completely obliterated from existence. From the air, Goku glances at Vegeta and gives him a thumbs up, signifying the end of the battle as they both smile. Finally, Majin Buu had disappeared completely, with not a single cell remaining, and the Namekians and Kais celebrate. Piccolo informs Gohan that Buu's energy is completely gone, and on the world of the Kais, Hercule speaks to the citizens on Earth, confirming that it's all over. Everyone cheers and chants except for Videl, who knows her father is lying. Meanwhile, Dende rushes to heal Goku, but Goku asks him to heal Vegeta first. Hercule's reunion with his puppy in celebration is cut short though, when the puppy finds the original Buu beaten to a pulp in some rubble. Vegeta understandably wants to finish off Buu, but Hercule begs him not to, saying that he'll take responsibility for him. Goku asks Dende to heal Buu and says that both he and Hercule helped in the battle, so at the very least, he deserves to live. Kibito Kai thinks it might not be a good idea for Buu to live on Earth since everyone will recognize him, but Goku suggests they can keep him from going outside for 6 months and asks Shenron to erase Buu's memory from everyone. Vegeta reluctantly agrees, and after Buu is healed, they all return to Earth and everyone greets them happily, except Buu, who everyone needed to get used to at first. 6 months later, memories of Buu were erased from everyone's mind, except for those who were heavily involved, and we fast forward 10 years into the future as we witness a now teenage Trunks visiting Gohan, who tells him that Goten and their dad are training in the woods. We cut to a teenage Goten, who's exhausted after training with his father, and Vegeta and Bulma arrive, Goku telling them that they haven't seen each other in a while, and Bulma stating it's been 4 years. Goku makes a joke about Bulma being old, and she retorts by calling Saiyans freaks, but Vegeta explains that Saiyans remain young longer so they can fight, Bulma then wondering if she should ask Shenron to make her younger. Goku tells Vegeta that he's training to enter the Tenkaichi Budokai tomorrow, as there's an incredible fighter coming, but Vegeta doesn't initially believe it. Trunks then arrives to talk to Goten, the half Saiyan then revealing that he's going to enter the Budokai as well, but not by choice, as Goku's making him go. We're then introduced to Pan, Gohan and Videl's daughter, who flew around the Earth, stating that she'll be entering the tournament as well. Vegeta then decides to join himself and forces Trunks to do the same, otherwise he'll cut his allowance. The next day, we cut backstage as Hercule schemes with Fat Buu so he can come out on top as the winner in the tournament this year. Goku and the gang arrive and greet him, and we cut to the lottery to determine the matchups, as Goku asks Buu to use his magic to manipulate the drawing for him so he can go head to head with the incredible fighter. The lottery begins and everyone begins to draw numbers. Suddenly, a short village boy named Oob steps up to draw, and Goku makes it known that he's the fighter he was referring to. Vegeta is of course surprised, prompting Goku to explain that 10 years ago when Kid Buu was beaten, he made a wish that the monster could be reborn as a good guy, and King Yemma was listening, confirming that this kid was apparently the reincarnation of Kid Buu. Meanwhile, Oob is nervous about the competition, but hopes to win the prize money to bring back food to his village. The tournament's announcer begins by explaining the procedures, instructing fighters to enter the ring when called and allowing them to relax or warm up beforehand. Goten is unhappy that he has to face Buu in the first round, but Goku believes it wouldn't be an issue if Goten had trained harder. One of the fighters, Mokeko, complains about facing a little kid and insults Pan, causing her to stick out her tongue at him. Otokosuki is pleased to face Trunks, while Nock taunts Vegeta about his age. Vegeta calmly punches Nock away, knocking him out. The announcer declares that the tournament has begun, and the first match features Pan, a 4-year-old girl and grandchild of Hercule, against Mokeko, who lost to Mr. Buu in the last tournament semi-finals last year. Despite concerns from some fans and Hercule himself, Pan quickly defeats Mokeko by knocking him out of the ring. The second match features Goku and the 10-year-old boy named Oob, who Goku intends to train. Realizing Oob's nervous nature, Goku decides to trash talk him to get him to fight, and Oob puts up quite a good good one, impressing everyone with his abilities. Having seen enough, Goku offers to train Oob, the boy nervous at first as he really only came for the prize money to feed his family, but Goku assures him that Hercule will give him everything he needs. Goku then flies toward his family and bids them a farewell, stating that he doesn't know how long it'll take to train Oob, but he'll come and visit from time to time. And with that, the two leave the tournament to head towards Oob's village. Goku's family can't believe he left so suddenly, while Piccolo states he hasn't seen Goku this happy in a long time. Vegeta then states how he knows Goku all too well, and that him training Oob has nothing to do with protecting the Earth. Meanwhile, Goku makes Oob promise to fight him when his training's complete and gives him the flying Nimbus, revealing that the kid is in fact pure of heart. The two then take off excitedly on their new adventure, ready to confront any challenge in their way, and remembering that the Dragon Balls will always be there for them in the end. The Majin Buu arc may not be the best arc in Dragon Ball Z to me, but it definitely introduced some great elements to the anime and gave us a heartwarming ending, even though Goku abandoned his family in the process. But what do you guys think of this arc? Is it your favorite? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.